Toxic shadows, they smirk down in the rivers, out in the seas. Masters of the deep, dolphin mysteries. Bottlenose freaks, short beaks in the night. Humpback shadows, pygmies out of sight. All the dolphins, you know it's true. Rolling deep in the ocean blue. Stripes and spots, they rule the tide. Water dogs of the deep, they don't hide. In the river's grip, seas endless bounty. Ruling the waves, dolphin Illuminati. Praised by Romans, gods to the Greeks. Underwater rulers, the power peaks. In ocean depths, their counts to 6. Dolphins in the dark, never calling it quits. Striped and spotted in the sea's domain. Aquatic dogs in their own insane lane. Through rivers they ride, seas they roam. In the ocean depths, they make their home.
Well, I talk about insanity, which is what's going on in your mind, and outside, which is where you communicate with us outside. As you know, if you give too much of your insanity, they'll lock you up. I tried giving as much as I could. They didn't lock me up. They published it, paid me.
Dolphin, Illuminati. Deep, deep, deep in the deep they creep. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. In the rivers and the seas they be a constant mystery. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. Deep, deep, deep in the deep they creep. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. In the rivers and the seas they be a constant mystery. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. It's that dolphin, Illuminati. Layla hates the Hatties. Oh yeah, Layla, she hates the Hatties. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she hates the Hatties. Oh yeah.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clone Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
Brap, big up yourself, big up yourself. Welcome back to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. As always, we are your good guys, and we are lucky enough to be joined by Donut. What up, Donut? So make sure that you hit that like and subscribe and all of those things. Hit the bell if you're watching on X, or if you're one of the diehards that's watching on the Secret Society of Good Guy channel or Rumble. Extra love, because you sit silent over there week after week. And so thank you guys for watching over on those places too. So what up, you guys? Thanks, Donut, for coming.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
Did you notice yourself in the intro? Have you noticed that before?
Oh, I was just laughing at the music. I wasn't even watching the screen. I was like dancing over here.
You're totally featured too.
It is a good intro song.
It is.
It's like good
But
even if you were to listen to it in your car.
The
the video
Layla
is
song
interesting
had me
too.
laughing like crazy.
Yeah, for some reason tonight, both of those songs were just hitting extra hard. I was like vibing out to those.
They're good.
Love them.
I like how the beat hits on the Good Guys song.
It's good. It's good in the car too. Like it comes hard.
I
Well,
know. I've got
you guys
it
have
on
heard
Apple
all the
Music. I listen
versions.
to it a lot.
There's like there was like 30, 40, 50 versions of that, and that one's absolutely my favorite.
It sounds legit like Nicki. Like it gives
It
me like a
does.
Nicki
Or
Minaj
like
vibe. Like I
Cardi
can,
B, right? Or
yeah.
is it?
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about how sometimes you gotta trick AI to do the thing. Like you can't tell it what you want, but if you can insinuate it enough, it's like, oh, I know what you're going for. So it was one of those examples. Like, give me a feisty, disrespectful New York Bronx rapper, and eventually, with the right combination, the AI is like, oh, bitch, I know what you're talking about.
I know exactly who
You're gonna
you
have to
mean.
teach me your ways.
There's a similar one too. The "Don't Call Me" song. There was a
Yeah, that
certain
was
way
good.
that I could get it to describe Migos and Gucci Mane without saying their names, but it like described that specific sound to a T. That now, if you just describe any song that way, you'll kind of get a Migos song out of it.
You're like getting good at audio cues and visual cues. That's what part of the AI designing is getting good at whatever your cues are and then keeping in that style for long enough of a thing. That's what people don't understand is so hard. You can get AI to make you something cool once, to get it to get that style again, and then to like verbally reward it. You're almost verbally tipping it in this way to get it to stay there. It's like kind of a little dance that you're doing with it. Like
The
give it
other
what you
thing
need.
too, especially for the AI music, the most important part by far are the lyrics. Because if you were to take a country song's lyrics, right, and then try and turn that just one for one into punk or rap or like jazz or something, it just doesn't work. You actually have to break down the different structures of different genres of music, because the AI will usually look at the lyrics, and then sometimes, regardless of what you think that the genre is going to be or how you're trying to describe the musicality of it itself, it looks at the lyrics and it's like, I know this is a country song. I'm just going to give you a country song. And that applies for all of it.
Well, then you have to tell it to make it like Nelly, because Nelly doing that Florida Georgia Line
Right. Well,
song.
the best way to do that, in my opinion, is that you would then go to like an LLM and say, here's 3 different versions of Nelly's lyrics, analyze the structure, analyze the rhyming scheme, the simplicity of the words, everything. Now give me, here's a country song. Give me the Nelly version of this country song, and then just use that, and you'll get way better results, because now the lyrics imply Nelly more than even you can describe it in terms of like 1990s rapper, whatever, like the specific genre or like region that he's from, all those in there. The lyrics will do almost all the hard work there.
Have you been seeing this commercial on your social media for Apple Music by Pedro Pascal, the guy that's like a famous actor?
He's
No, but
making
I'll pull
music.
it up.
So this is like every time I go on any social media, he's on there and he looks just so like he just got a massage, and he like does this dance for Apple Music. It's called Someday by Spike Jones.
I'm gonna pull it up.
He's just like, he's dancing. I didn't know if that was in your algorithm at all, but every time I go on, it's this guy, yeah, right here, and he says, "You're perfect, you're worth it," and he just keeps on repeating it, and it feels very much like sort of strange propaganda. Yeah, this hasn't popped up in your feed at all.
No.
Hills Has Eyes sees it. Yeah, it's like so cringe where he does this dance, and product. So I just didn't know if you saw this at all. It's not in your algorithm. That's
You know what commercial I'm getting ever since like me, Chaney, and Layla did an episode, and for whatever reason, butthole bleaching came up, and I was like, "Don't do it," blah blah blah, and now I get an ad every time I open my Instagram for butthole bleaching. Like,
What's the
need to know
ad
about
say? How do they
It-
market?
it's like it's a
It's
like
not a blueberry anymore. It's just like
it's got a
pale.
butt with a peach on top of it, and it says like, and it's like a cartoon version of a girl, like probably like on all fours, and it's her butt like that with a peach on top of it, and it says what you need to know about butthole bleaching. And I'm like, I was against it, so why is it giving me freaking
Trying the
butthole bleaching?
algorithms really wants to change your
Change my
mind
opinion
about
I guess.
it.
Yeah.
My
No,
algorithm has no idea what to think at this point. I get the most random, like one week my algorithm will be knitting supplies because I've looked into like stickers and like cutesy stuff, and it thinks, oh, you're a girl. Here's a bunch of like girly, knitty, you know, like weird book club typey stuff. And then another month it'll legitimately just give me people that are disfigured for various reasons. And I don't mean like Gaza disfigured. I mean just like someone that has like half of an arm, and here's how they get through their day and make music. But it'll be the only thing I see.
That means you
whole
Texas
week.
summer.
And I got
was gonna
no
say
idea
summer,
what my
yeah.
triggers are. Like what did I do that now all of a sudden I'm just gonna get, you know,
I got
like
pimple
amputee.
popping and like earwax removal. That's like all I see. I'm like, okay,
I'm not gonna lie, if those
watch it.
come up sometimes I just let it loop, and I know that's bad because I'm telling the algorithm more of this, please, and I don't mean that. You know,
I know.
deep down, I don't mean that.
I'll click on it. It was like, oh, the ingrown hair ones are
So
so satisfying.
my algorithm's given me this Apple Music, and it's like the most pseudo spiritual video you'll ever see. It's just the like, you know how they have where they have the word sex or whatever. Everyone knows that that's how they market through like your certain desires. Well, this commercial is made for people who don't feel spiritual, and they have like the spiritual like hole in them that they want to fill. And you get that by purchasing this Apple product, which makes everything silent when you wear the headphones. And I sort of kind of want to get them, like, because it's just the way that they market it. It's wild how that's my algorithm.
Well,
It seems like some people in the chat too has that a lot as well.
It looks like a pill commercial, like, or it looks
Yeah.
like there was this phase of that. I always thought it was weird. But when all my friends were young moms, there like was grown men, the Wiggles, and it was all that color palette and like grown men dancing in these like in feminine kind of style. And I felt like it was like that commercial. Like there's this whole set of like pill commercials or vaginal dryness, but it's ladies dancing like that. You know, like they pick an ailment, and then the ailment's like, you know, like rapid eye movement. And then but they're dancing like that. And then as they pan out, they're on top of an iris.
Yeah, the same thing with a lot of medicine. It's like for loneliness, it's always a parade at the end of dancing. In this commercial, that's how it starts and ends, is it's a parade of people just happy dancing. And you got this actor who I guess is famous, just telling the camera, like the person looking at it, how like perfect they are, and that you're worth spending $300 for these like headphones. It's something to be studied, but that parade of dancing is exactly what they do in this.
Warning: Pedro Pascal may cause thoughts of self-harm.
Yeah.
I have to stare at him again. It's so weird. Like it played in my head so many times, but it is kind of like creepy. I feel like the color palette's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I was like went on Wikipedia while we were listening to the intro music and reading about this guy, and he's like connected to like some very hard left socialist parties.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, he's like a tool. Like I'm surprised he's not running for president. He would be the
putting on the.
I mean, I'm obsessed with it. I'm watching it like an infant child.
So
like,
that's what's been on my mind.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, the colors. This is totally. There's
It's
something
like
about
Yo
the
Gabba
color
Gabba,
palette.
right? It's just Yo Gabba Gabba for adults at this point.
There you go.
The same thing was the Happy song by, oh God, the guy from
Because I'm happy.
yeah,
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 That
it's a
song.
yeah.
happy
For
Like
song.
a
Pharrell
Or the
room
Williams.
Lizzo song
without a
too.
roof.
The Lizzo song is like in every commercial, like 2 years ago.
What was that
You
stupid
gotta be
song?
more
I do like
specific.
it though. Truth hurts.
And then there's that new KFC commercial also showing the spirituality of baptizing humans into hot
Oh, and it comes
oil.
out as coming out as chicken. That's creepy. Is that not?
And so there's this is so interesting because it's usually like sex to sell it, but they're really heavy on the spirituality. So people are buying for the same desire of I want to have a spiritual experience. And then you get this like religious experience watching KFC or Apple product or Mountain Dew. One of their commercials is called do it's for your soul or something, and then the reptilians in it. It's crazy.
What?
That's what they say. Look at what I didn't know. A gravy cult. Did you guys? I didn't even see this commercial yet. You guys are showing me.
Yeah.
It's a part two. It's a part two. The first one, they're being like controlled by like signals coming from like computers, and then they put a chicken on an altar to sacrifice it. And this is part two.
I think it's genius, you know, if people are like getting angry about it.
The music's pretty sick. Can you make a beat like this, Paranoid?
I would probably just straight up. Yeah.
Look at there's an egg again for the Nephilim Death Squad to put in there.
Yeah, the egg.
They're obsessed with the eggs right now.
This
I
beat
gotta
go
turn it
hard
off. I
though,
feel like
huh?
I'm being MK Ultra.
It's like a tribal beat, but it's like faux spirituality. Oh, and then there was like there also in the news today, there was a huge satanic rally in Kentucky that got overran by the Knights Templars, and they had them all arrested.
You got to be more specific. What do you mean Knights Town? Like old guys and
No, not like real ones. Just there, so like you had all these like weird Satanists show up to, I believe it was in Kentucky, and then you had all these people dressed up as Knights Templars show up to get them arrested. Like, I'm not joking. This happened today.
I'm gonna pull it up. It's 3 hours ago on our most trusted news source, Google. Satanist leaders attempt to hold black mass in Kansas State
Kansas.
House sparks chaos and 4 arrests.
Yeah, you gotta
Look
see
at look at the picture though of chaos. Oh, why did they do it?
Black mass is a very loaded term. I mean,
Look at chaos, you guys. Just look at chaos.
Well, that's not the good. They got to see the picture outside of the courthouse or wherever it is, because you got people all playing dress
Leader
up.
of a small group of self-described Satanists and 3 other people were arrested Friday following a scuffle inside this Kansas State House arising from the effort by the group's leader to start a black mass in the rotunda. About 30 members of the Kansas City area Satanic Grotto, led by its president Michael Stewart, rallied outside the State House for the separation of church and state. It's so stupid. They argued outside doing it for the separation of church and state. Like, it's like, I don't know.
Well, their whole shtick is that ultimately they play atheist, and regardless of what they are at like the core, it attracts a lot of atheists and it attracts a lot of like political activists that are atheists, and they see their version of Satanism as a way to force the system to participate to its fullest extent. Like, if you're going to do some Christian stuff on state grounds, then we're going to come in right after you and invert the thing that you just did and make it all blasphemy on purpose, just so that you say, okay, no one's allowed to have any fun here anymore. Like, they want to get rid of all religion in that case. And that's kind of the step number one. and there's so many different iterations of Satanism, right? Because there's like the temple of Satan. I think it's the Satanic Temple that does this political stuff, and then it's the Church of Satan, that's like the LaVey entertainer stuff. And you got like Luciferians, but this particular one seems like that Satanic Temple approach.
Well, and then like the ACLU, they usually back anything up like that too. That's like they seem to be very anti-Christian. Like, what are they? ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. Like, I paid a lot of close attention to it when I was hardcore Christian because they were like fight anything like separation of church and state. Like the big old cross that was in San Diego. They fought it and wanted it taken down and everything. Like they fight all the little battles like that or the big ones.
I don't know if this is false memory, but I swear that they used to kind of feel like they were on the side of everybody. Would help back up horrible speech that no one wanted to hear, and then make those good cases like that's the thing that needs the most free speech. And now it seems like they've completely transitioned into being pro taking speech away.
Yeah.
But isn't the separation between church and state, don't people have it all wrong? Like, wasn't it something that was said because it was saying that the queen was never allowed to be the head of the state and the head of the church? And that was the separation of church and state, not that a faithful man couldn't lead office.
Well, yeah, a faithful man can lead office. I think it also had to do with the Pope, right? So that way, because the
Yeah,
Pope
the same
pretty
as the
much-
queen as the Pope. She was
Yeah.
never allowed to be the head of the church, and he was never allowed to be the head of the state. And so it was not that, like, somewhere in our, like, over the last 20 years, I feel like the doctrine is slowly changing, that they're like, hey, you're not allowed to have any of your rhetoric inside politics when
there was always
you're
prayers and
allowed to
stuff
have
of it.
whatever
Yeah.
rhetoric you believe in, and then that forms who you are, and then you are a mouthpiece for your people if it's done all right. We all know the like selection, not election, blah blah blah. If we're living in the fairy tale world of what like it should be, that it's somewhere people have this idea of like, oh, you're gonna come and be Christian, I'm gonna be Satan then, because separation of church and state, none of this should be allowed here. No, it's totally allowed here. It has to do with a queen and a pope, but most people aren't like informed enough that they're like, there's no faith allowed in the Capitol. Where it's like, no, all the faiths are allowed in the Capitol. That's not the issue. Like,
They just can't press a faith on you.
yeah, and you're not allowed to be like my route between like, oh, the queen's the sovereign. She's between
Yeah.
you and God. Nope. There's a separation of church and state. The queen will never be between me and God.
Well, don't you think it's interesting too that separation of church and state, yet we've never had and probably won't in our lifetimes have an atheist president? Like our president always has to have some amount of strong faith. Like they don't have to be a zealot, but they also can't just be a lukewarm, oh yeah, I'm Christian, but I don't really go to church. Like you, even if that's who they actually are, you got to put on this completely different front for obvious reasons. But again, the separation of church and state is not something that is so black and white. You know what I mean? There's so much different nuance to it because nobody really would trust an atheist president or a president that's not guided by faith. So I mean, and what, like, if you're saying separation of church and state, yeah, everyone involved in the government is supposed to profess some kind of a strong religious leaning of any kind.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't get elected if you don't have the Christian vote or something like that. Like, or you know, to seem like you have some moral high ground. But then all the forefathers were deists. So
Well, look at the
weird to think
interesting
about
thing
that.
how they made Obama, like they made the whole scandal about his preacher to make him have a Christian scandal because he wasn't
Goddamn
Christian at all.
He never went to
Not that
church.
He
guy.
never
Not
went to
once.
church. That was never his preacher. So they made his preacher look like he was some kind of Christian zealot in a way, or hated white people, just so then people like that was the narrative that he
He
must
went to
go to
church.
church. That's his
Yeah.
preacher. And we all don't like his preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that so much. It wasn't that he was a secret Muslim. It was that his Christianity was an extremist. It was almost being painted as a Nation of Islam version of, Southern Baptist.
I did see today a picture, and you guys probably know all about this, but Shirley Temple in her big Knights of Malta robe.
Ooh,
And
I want to see it.
then it was everybody posting all these other celebrities from old pictures in Knights of Malta robes. Like,
Really?
this was
Because
used to be
no
my
one ever.
favorite part about anonymous online is, like, any of the chat rooms or any of the things that you were just a chicken head or whatever your face was, that it didn't matter. You would just throw in your research and somebody else would just throw in their research and somebody else, but it was like one topic and then everyone would dig on one topic. That's kind of what's getting started with a lot of threads again on X. The more people are allowed to keep their accounts, you're noticing like that group digging style and people adding to other people's or being able to link digs they already did by just just putting the link right on somebody else's dig. So it's almost making this new kind of digital research library
That's
that you can take what
crazy.
information you want or don't want. But I do think like the finding a lot of the information is becoming like a quick because everybody's holding on to some stuff that they can try to delete the internet, but you've got it somewhere on a terabyte, or I do, or Thomas does, or Abby does. Like,
But our
That,
versions are all different. That's what's wild, is because unless we all saved it at the exact same time, now when I pull up, if when the internet goes away or when there's a blackout, and we've all got our own versions, like we'll have conflicting facts. If you're looking at your Wikipedia, even your Merriam-Webster, any of that stuff, like it all changes almost daily.
that's so
well,
crazy.
that's wild. I pulled up that image. I've been on a deep Nights on Malta dive for like 2 years.
Here I can,
So
unless you want to share your screen.
that was a good find. Even I won't get into the Knights of Malta too much. But talking about the Commonwealth, where America, we get these God-given rights to all individuals. So that was that was the
Individuals.
purpose. Um, but what's your thoughts on Trump, President Trump, recently talking about the joining the Commonwealth, because the Commonwealth is like the king and the queen. They have the Commonwealth.
Yeah, did that happen?
I think he's messing with them. That's what I think personally, but I didn't look into the story at all to verify if that's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know if it happened or not, and sometimes, like, it's like I see one thing spread, but I just can't imagine. I'm just gonna tell you from all of my "don't step on Snick," like, I will never be under the queen, ever. Like, or a I don't care. They can tell me it's King Charles now all they want to, but I don't really believe in that. I think whatever's going on there is, like, still Henry VIII Elizabeth, like, somewhere with Anne Boleyn, I don't even know. I
This
don't
I
even
Knights
do.
of
know.
Malta logo was the most popular logo for the National Socialist, because if you put two of their, I don't want to say the word, but the Kanye logo, two of them together, it makes the Knights of Malta. So that's one of the reasons why that symbol was chosen,
How
like
creepy.
before the that party was launched. Is that Marina with
Yeah.
it? Yeah, even yeah, this
I
I've
thought
been
the Sammy Davis Jr. one
Sammy
was the one that I was like, "Yeah, baby." I didn't see that one before. A ring a dang dang.
There's one thing that's I consider this partly brain rot. This is like this new version of internet brain rot, though, where you just have a certain word that you can make your pick. And the first example on that thread, it was sexual abuse, years of Hollywood sexual abuse. That was the trigger word was Hollywood sexual abuse. And then it's like, and now here's an image that may or may not be related. You know what I mean? Like, here she
Yeah.
is as Malta, and you go through the other ones, and people you would use like the same sort of thing, either in the image or in like a certain phrase, and plug it in. It's just,
Well,
it's
they're
I just
doing
think that
that a lot to
they're
the politicians right now, like RFK, they did something to him like 2 weeks ago where they're like, "Oh, RFK backed vaccines." And they put out this article and it made the internet go insane because they interviewed RFK and they took the quotes. And if you know what you're reading, if you're a person that knows how to read quotes and articles, you're like, he didn't say that. Like they have his quotes and then they put in like between it like a paragraph about COVID-19 and something about like vaccine and blah 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 blah. And then an interview question with a quote from him again. Like it literally, he doesn't say anything about it, but the tagline of the article, and then if most people don't read articles. Like
Yeah,
They read the
everybody's going,
headline.
yeah, they're going around arguing headlines. So it's like so much stuff I don't know where I'm like, was it one headline that said it was like it's the same as where everybody shows that coin and they're like, look it, Israel made a Trump coin. And then I'm like, pull up who made that. Like just do a little more research past it. And it's just some random guy, some random schmo, no pun intended. And everybody's running a whole red heifer conspiracy on the fact that Chaney made a coin with menorah on one side and Trump's face on the other. And somebody's like, oh my gosh, a girl named Chaney made this coin, end of times. And so I just think some things are just one article where it's like Thomas loves silver and it's Thomas's face by silver.
It's a
But when you
meme
really
virus.
click on it, it's like, oh, or read it, it doesn't really say that thing.
It's just
So-
like, oh,
Snapchat.
Thomas loves, at like music. And technically, we couldn't have music if we didn't have silver. And here's a complicated story that we're crafting that proves that music won't exist without silver. Therefore, Thomas loves silver.
And
so do
Thomas
you.
is holding silver.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse with AI, of course.
Well, Snapchat is really bad too. Like if you go on your Discover page on Snapchat, like you'll see it'll say hacks, movie secrets that pros hide, and it has like this picture of a big fat belly with a belly button. And then you click on it, you never see anything about the picture that's on it, and it's all random stuff. And it's like every single one of them is like that. So I don't click on shit on the Discover page on Snapchat. It's annoying. Like you want to, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with whatever it showed you.
Well, you have no idea now, as silly as it sounds, is one link that you click and all of a sudden your 80-year-old grandma or somebody's inside your computer.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, do you want to pay $600 for me to get off? It's like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Where do you see everything leading to? Because we all are pre-social media, pre-cell phones and hands, and so you'd have to actually read like a book.
I think I had a Game Boy from damn near when I was conscious enough to form a sentence, though. Like I have to out myself. And even before Game Boy, I had those little tiger things. I don't know if that counts.
Well, where do you
I
see
had an
this?
Atari.
Where do you see this going with how no one reads articles? They just read a picture that anybody could create, and then it gets carried on, and it becomes the truth in all the perception of everyone's mind. Like, where do you see the future?
Or even images, like all the images that we're saying, where I always wonder, we talk about MK Ultra, or we talk about ways that we're all brainwashed, or things like, what can they hack in our brains? What can they, rewire that we don't know? And then if the more people are away from other people, that becomes their basis of reality. So like what little things is it slowly morphing that we don't understand? Like somebody I saw in chat, right? It always misspells. Like that should be the easiest. It's been reading our texts for how long now? That should be the easiest for it to get out, is at least the way the fonts it knows, the fonts it lets us type in. It should know how to write those back to us. Why can't it? It writes it like almost like you'd see it inside, or if you were sleeping. It's on a TV. It's a different language, but it's like, it's getting better. But doesn't it seem ridiculous? It can read it. If you were to write it to Abbie, it can read your entire text and be like, oh, look at Donut's a terrorist.
Oh, it's the new one can now. Like
I know.
like the nerdy technical part I won't get into, but like up until now, a lot of the image generation stuff where it gets into like making the words and it can't spell things properly is because it was using diffusion models, but now it's using the new Chat GPT one that everyone's been going crazy on right now, that uses something called Sora, which is slightly different than the way diffusion works. So we can get that stuff right because it was made to get that particular type of thing right.
Do you think it's
I don't know
pretending?
if you guys are following the Andrew Tate arrests and like lawsuits at all, but I have this prediction about him. There's this new girl that it's coming out. It was his girlfriend that he was like beating, just terrible. But you read like their text and their chat, it looks like AI is talking to each other. So either he's muddying the waters with all of the court cases that are opened up in different countries and with these AI things. That's what it feels like to me looking at it. Because then these websites that make videos of playing his voice, saying that he's partaken in these crimes, it's the voice sounds like him, but it sounds like an AI version of him. So I'm thinking that he might have released that. So all these people that are like really looking for damage stuff there, that they're like using like fake AI stuff, which will like muddy the waters. I don't know if you looked at that, but
That's actually wild though, because the world is still waiting on a legal precedent to be set over someone using AI generated anything in the middle of a court case. But that's almost if someone were doing it intentionally, like with malice. But there's also a weird version of this too that you're describing, where like right now, I'm pretty sure anyone could set up their phone to just use AI to auto respond to stuff. There's like a million apps that could possibly do that, but there's a world in which two people have both set their phone up to respond with their AI agent, and the AI agent just starts doing some illegal suggestions. And now if they do like a forensic look on your phone and they're like, oh, look, we've got these incriminating messages, and you're like, I didn't do any of that. Like, yeah, okay. We hear that all the time, but that might actually be something that comes up where it's like, no, I really didn't do that. And it's gonna kind of change precedent. I know I watch enough cop shows to see how valuable getting access to their phone and their text messages are. And once you can basically say, that might all be fake. Who knows? Like if I can just install an app on my phone that has that capability, even if I don't use it, is that sort of like a legal loophole where I could be like, look, I've got this thing that could have done that theoretically, not beyond a shadow of a doubt. So like technically I couldn't go away for murder if you were trying to use my text alone to incriminate.
I have a weird one. What if they already made an AI like large language model that was sex bots, and they had never trafficked and never had a girl. They just made AI models that were always those things, but there's powers that be that don't want the level of technology that they were using to just honey trap in a sexting operation to necessarily all be released at once yet.
Like weird science.
Yeah, like, but they actually, it's always been people just calling whatever their fantasy that they create of the robot AI talks back to them, but it's never been real.
Well, you
Like
saw
1-900 numbers.
you saw Kim K cuddling and rubbing up on that Tesla bot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's so strange to me. Like,
This is it. Like I knew this was like I've been talking about these twerking Tesla bots and how people are gonna just go to town on them. And I just like knew that was coming just because think about the internet, like that's what everyone does on the internet. But
Cherry
now we have
5000. Is that
well, I've
we,
been predicting forever that Kim Kardashian is they're using her for transhumanism. Her
Mhm.
look, her aesthetic, her latex body skims, everywhere she pumps fat into her body, her entirety of her form, the look of her face. They've been telling us for years, like, after humans are alive for another 100 years on the planet, this will be how they look. It's Kim Kardashian all the time. It's like she's the morph of all of us. It's almost like I call people like that. I have a few friends that are kind of Kim K. They're racially ambiguous. Like wherever she is, she looks like you. However she wants to do her hair, she does it blonde. Look at, she's Marilyn. So they've been kind of using her to go through this aesthetic. This is what a booty looks like. We could just fill a booty. These are boobies. We can make them bigger or smaller. Like Thomas was saying, weird science. Like she essentially is that in real life that we've all watched go through that. And we've seen Kim, you can just change your hair. You can change her, like she's becoming the new version of Barbie.
I'm a
So
Barbie girl.
then right after the Kim thing, we get the trans, which Bruce Jenner is that. So he is the transitioning of to Caitlyn, but he gets the C instead of the K. I always think that's so interesting.
I think it's weird how didn't Caitlyn run for president, or was that mayor? But
Or
you,
one of those things like
you-
governor, maybe president. I don't know,
I remember
but
Caitlyn
something.
First lady,
ran.
technically, right? Or no? Were they already separated by then?
Another thing is that
First
also
lady president.
Kanye also ran for a political party as well. So like that family has been working hard and putting like their feelers out there into political positions of power. But the whole transhuman thing, that's exactly what it is, and it's just such confirmation. Her rubbing up on the Tesla bot. Like that's what the article says. It's like rubbing up on the like Tesla bot.
Doesn't it go against too like what we're getting told the team of Hollywood is
Governor.
and what you'd assume the team of the Kardashians are? Them hanging out with Elon, anything would be against that Hollywood narrative right now. But the transhumanism narrative is bigger than that.
It's bigger. This is where this is like the 2045, the new human species. Transhumanism has been a term coined by Julian Huxley, and this was a long time ago. So this agenda for control has been in the plans. That is way bigger. Like you're saying, it is way bigger. It's they're creating a brand new species of Homo sapien. Pretty wild. Like, it's so wild.
Homo something.
Did you guys
Homo
just
something.
did you guys just see a thing? Like, isn't there something about China that
China.
there was like a thing that some guy spent a certain amount of money in Ethereum because China already has a version of Neuralink that's been out for a while now. And some guy
Interesting.
spent this certain amount of money on Ethereum to release a coin and make it run so people would see it. But it was all one guy that did it, like one wallet to just make something. I don't know. I haven't read the whole
I
story.
saw that they did the first like implant in a man who is like paraplegic or whatever, and he's able to use his legs again. China did.
I think it's gonna get crazy when it's a transdermal patch. Like you don't even got to go and get brain surgery, right? Because that I think honestly, it's so easy to be like, oh, transhumanism is horrible. I would never do transhumanism. When you think about the current version of it, where they like drill a little hole and like connect neurons. But if it's such, you can go to CVS and get a patch, and they start at like $800 of the cost of an iPhone, and you just can plop one of those things like on the back of your neck. Like that's gonna, I think, test the limits for a lot of people.
Well, I just had that conversation with somebody the other day. They were asking me, what would you do in the future? Like, do you think that that's something that's happening down the road that we're going to have to like decide if you're going to, merge with the robots? And I was like, it's not something that I necessarily considered. I know if I was quadriplegic or paraplegic, I would absolutely do it. But
I don't think there's really it's going to be like a boiling frog kind of situation. It'll just be, the version of iPhone next year just happens to prick your finger every time you go to use it. And now there's nanobots in your system. It'll just be like a very natural thing. Like I think all four of us at this exact moment are currently feeding the beast, that's like evolving into that thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, though, if I were missing something, like I don't know what it would be like to be born without something, but we all are all different than each other. But then if you had an ailment or something happened to you in life, like a limb or, vision or hearing. And that's what I always think about. And I'm like, that's their way in, like, is our ailments. But then you look at how often the nefarious, the same people that are involved, like where we talk about schizophrenics, these same people are always messing around nefariously with blind and deaf children separately, like
Yeah.
studying them all the time. And so that kind of stuff differently, I'm like, if I were missing one of those senses, would I want a Neuralink? And then I'm like, lesser than, we're all aging. You don't have your eyes like you used to, but it's all just a release of our hormones, testosterone, like certain levels. Could you just
Yeah.
have a little computer chip in your brain? Could you really become ageless in a way? Because everything about aging is kind of it's what is it, Abby? It's like inside your body. It's like certain cells are turned off that don't
Yeah,
necessarily need to
epigenetic.
be.
Yeah.
Like it's like not a morph, but it's not necessarily a natural thing either. It's like something's
No.
messed with
You're
how
like,
it.
I'm
Yeah,
tired, boss.
the like telomeres and stuff on your DNA, like the little caps, that's what causes death, really. And those are not natural. Like if you sit there and you study like the look of a DNA strand and you see the telomeres on it, it looks like somebody's actually capped it off.
So what does that mean? That it's not natural? Are you
That
saying
we've already been genetically manipulated. Like this is like,
this is
and you can tell
yeah,
because if we have only 2 active strands of DNA and the rest, the intron DNA that they call junk DNA, we
yeah.
have what, 10 inactive strands. That means that we've devolved
Yeah,
somewhere.
someone came in and was like, "You guys are living too long down here. We gotta,
Yeah,
we gotta mix
let's
it
give
up a
them
little bit."
some schmack scenes with like dog DNA and everything else.
We already pulled up so many videos, and I'm like, man, we're probably in trouble already on you.
Yeah.
Well, what's up with this pyramid underneath it with like some sort of
This is another one of those headline things because I looked into this one.
I
'Cause
want to get
whenever
all
something
into
is
this.
so
Hold on.
crazy that comes up, but this one, I think they just had like a thermal or some sort of like an imaging map, right? That shows these columns of energy almost, or like that's how interpreted. But if you were to see like a thermal photo or of any sort of a gradient photo where every color represent like in a weather system, right? Like sometimes they form like things like columns. And the first thought I had was it's wild that the same crowd that'll look at a NASA photo of outer space and be like, that's all digital. That's
fake.
digital. That's all fake because it's digital. But now you just see like a rough outline, like a heat map image, and everyone's like, oh my God, I've been looking for this proof forever. Finally,
That's
proof
funny.
that there's energy beams under. Like, where's that same skepticism of this is all digital, man? What are we looking at?
That's hilarious. I haven't looked at it, but what about this blue whirlpool? I said it was
Oh,
Tesla or something.
yeah. What the hell is up with that?
It seems
The
like it'd
bleeding?
be the same thing though, like where
Yeah,
people
well, because people have been seeing this heat map representation and they're like, what are those columns? Oh, the columns must be some kind of Tesla towers. And that means that there's an energy source down there. Like it keeps building up and up and up. And I'm not saying that none of that is possible. It's just that no one has sort of like everyone suspended their disbelief immediately. And there's not a lot of people that are like, I don't know, guys, this might be BS.
no one's questioning that because it's some ancient alien stuff.
And also it's just usually not as fun for the world to constantly be like digging in and being like, wait a minute, what is this? This might not be as cool as you think, right?
But did you see the blue portals in the sky?
Yeah. Right
You-
now?
Well, in the UK, there was blue portals in the sky, and then later they're like it was Tesla.
Yeah. It was like it looked almost like yin and yangy, didn't it? In a
Yeah.
way, like the blue, it was people are seeing it in the sky.
And then there was like another article from 2009 where they saw the same like blue portal, and then crazy.
Well, if it's Tesla technology, then it would be in the ionosphere. Although I don't know how that plays with all the other, like does flat
There's
Earth
Thomas using big
discount
words for
Tesla?
sky.
Like if you
He has
believe
to
in
correct us,
firmament,
ionosphere.
there can't be
Just teasing.
Tesla
Is,
ionosphere stuff, or maybe there is. Maybe I don't
is
know
there
all the different dome stuff.
is there a strain of like indica or something called like ionosphere?
There should be.
That's her name.
Yeah, that's a chemtrail strain.
Have you seen
Patent it.
though?
Patent that shit.
We made a joke, like I made a joke last week when we were talking about it, and I was just trying to weave it all together. So I said, "Oh, like an ancient library," talking about what was underneath the. Was it on the show that I said that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I read an article that they're thinking it could be an ancient hall of records.
What
That
is
would
the
be pretty
pyramid?
dope.
Yeah, like what's underneath the pyramid. And then somebody I know, and now I'm like, is this a real article? So tell me if this is totally crazy because I just heard this from word of mouth. That somebody went down these chambers, like this
Mr.
mile-long
Beast
thing,
did.
and it took them like yeah, right.
No, he did. He literally went there.
Like that somebody went down there and that it was, like this is almost where I was like, "Is this the Vril?" Like, that there was a liquid down there with not with corpses inside of it, but they weren't decomposed.
There's like that your show on the Oracle at Delphi was really fun to watch with her sitting in the vibrating
Oh
chair.
yeah.
I know, that big crazy chair.
I heard that uh, was just a cover up cult for the real cult, where they're like, here, this is what we're worshiping. Here's the cult, but like secretly they're doing something way different.
I
Makes
think that
sense.
was just like one of the hundreds of crazy things they were doing, and they were like, "Oh no, this is the pinnacle of everything that we do. Here it is." And yeah, that was the exoteric. It was literally above ground, right?
That chair, that was hilarious. Watching y'all talk about it, because
I just think, you guys, do you feel like some part of this whole psyop of the pyramids and what's underneath it, like, where did they come up with this new technology of recent that they can go deeper underneath? Or like they're just like, oh my gosh, we just found this out. We have to be transparent and let them know.
And that's the thing about Egypt. Like anytime that they excavate something, it seems like they do like, oh, we think we found the tomb of Osiris, and so then they do this big old freaking documentary on TV, and it'll be like built up, and then you watch it, and then they don't show you what they discover, or when they went through all the chambers in the King's Pyramid to see like with the robot and stuff. They don't show you what they actually find, because then Egypt steps in and they're like, oh no, this is our shit, like and then they don't release it to the public. They don't let us know what's going on. So it's like, I don't believe that Egypt wouldn't have already shut that down.
I feel like it could, the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's like some like crazy shit right there. That's like some pyramid shit right there. The Sphere.
It
Like
looks badass. To be
like if
honest.
everything disappeared and then there's only a couple more humans and they walk, but the Sphere for some reason still worked, it'd be like, whoa.
I feel like there's gonna be other cities that get spheres, and it's almost gonna be a new IMAX. Like the way to get a true experience for a
Looks
concert or a
cool.
movie is you're gonna have to go to the Sphere.
Have you seen the inside footage of like these concerts? Like it'd be so cool to see an Insane Clown Posse concert.
Seeing the UFC event there, just watching it on TV was insane. Look at
There was
this
like a
though.
Tool concert there
God.
where they were showing like the Tool artwork and it just looked amazing.
And I think they like
I'm
the
not mad
first
at the
show they did
Sphere.
in it was The Dead.
The Grateful Dead?
Yeah, but I don't think they're grateful after Jerry died. After Jerry died, they aren't the CIA or who was spreading the Grateful Dead.
The Ungrateful Life instead
I
of the
don't
Grateful
know.
Dead.
Did you guys ever read The Stand?
No.
Stephen King?
Yeah, there's
Hell no.
something
Read
about
some
the
of it.
Sphere in Vegas. Like it just feels like in The Stand, like they're creating the movie The Stand, and the sphere would need to be one of the things. You'd have to have this like big, huge brainwashing re-education camp for everybody to go into and like get all the information
This is a
downloaded.
movie.
Well,
Um,
it's
Yeah,
a book,
it was a
and then it has
book, The
It's two
Stand, and then
awful movies,
two,
but
yeah, two awful
yeah,
It's
movies,
not good.
and a
Miss Abbie.
two awful TV series too, right? Or is this the TV series were the
Yeah, I think they
movies?
did make a TV series out of it as
two
well.
awful TV series is what I meant.
It looks pretty cool.
The movie was like long.
That
'Cause I
was
remember
one of the
renting on VHS.
examples. What was it? Tropic Thunder, where like you never go full R. In my opinion, that's one of the things that did go full R. Like the original Stand, they had the stuttering guy, but it was just like one bridge too far.
Oh man.
Was it Rob Lowe or like
I don't know.
somebody?
It wasn't Rob Lowe. It was like he looked like a R Hulk Hogan a little bit,
Yeah.
like a skinny Hulk
An
Hogan.
R word at Hulk Hogan.
I've been having a lot of trouble finding like a new TV show or movie to watch that
Have you watched Severance
I
on
love.
Apple
I
TV?
love the first season, but the second season I haven't watched. I watched the first episode.
It was good.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
It's basically about Neuralink.
Yeah. It's so
Mm.
good.
Yeah, that's what you wonder. And that is the really weird, like the Audi versus any kind of concept of if you like it, do you just you have a you in prison somewhere, or is that you right now?
Well, the whole thing about Severance, I think, is that it almost seems like everyone's got the Neuralink, and really what the Severance part is making it so when the Neuralink is active, it doesn't interact with your waking life and vice versa, for compartmentalization reasons. Like this is the new version of a top secret pass. It's not just that they vet you, it's that you literally cannot bring the
Remember
information.
anything? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it couldn't Severance just be the real procedure has nothing to do with surgery. They just put you in a room and they just MK Ultra torture you until they develop an alter, and they just force all
Well,
of
'cause
that
that's
into the
essentially
alter.
what they did to him too. You know, they're sitting there when they have to go to the break room and stuff. It's like it's MK Ultra. All it is, obviously, but yeah.
I've met this spot in my life where I'm passionate. The passion's gone, and I'm like trying to rewatch stuff that spark it. I think I'm going to watch a Werner Herzog film.
When was
think
the
that
last
might-
time you watched Hereditary?
So Hereditary, when I watched it, it was funny, you know, the little animal baby, you know, that they were like, is that the right movie? Am I thinking?
No,
Maybe
but
it's
whatever.
maybe.
I'm curious to what you're talking about.
There's this weird movie that came out. It's probably not Hereditary, but they have a baby, and the baby's half like cow, and half
Okay, this is
Oh.
not Hereditary.
Mm-mm.
and it was just it was supposed to be like not funny and serious, but I laugh and I turn it off. But Hereditary is by I love the summer movie, right?
Yeah,
The
Midsummer,
Is it as
Hereditary,
good as
and The
that?
Witch.
when they fell off that cliff, wow, that was awesome.
But it's really like the rituals that they're doing in those three movies. And when you see like what from The Witch, I think it goes all the way back, but I think it is very primeval before Primeval was made. So like
it's
that
a
American
movie ritual.
the director did all three of them, and you can kind of watch them in whatever order. But I think Hereditary explains how old the process is. Like this little cult in some Pacific Northwest town, and they're like, look at this little creepy cult of old ladies and what they're up to and saving
Wow,
a
so it's
body for a
connected to
deity.
three movies.
Yeah, and then you
Okay.
go deeper and you find some, you think you're
I didn't
watching a
know that.
story about a girl and her friends and a weird death, but then you're going in deeper into the same cult that's doing these kind of rituals, preparing the bodies and doing these things for the walk-ins of these. And then you start looking at the dress and they're all the same as Queen Elizabeth and her sister. But then when you go into The Witch, you start seeing like kind of this creepy deity energy in the woods that creepy stuff's happening around, and you kind
Freaking
of
Jacob, bro. It's all Jacob.
It's like the Marvel universe with the 3 films connecting.
it almost
Yeah,
it's like
I
if you, but it's very esoteric, but people think it's so crazy, but it's in that way of like, this is what the elite are up to.
I just watched Eyes Wide Shut, and it's really not like that edgy. Like what we have today, like at that time it was edgy, but like the internet is way more fully ritualistic than that movie. Like you rewatch that movie, you're like, why did I think this was like so
Well,
grounded?
did you get that part of that movie was that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman give their own daughter up to that cult?
So at the end, that's what Chaney, you showed me kind of about that at the end where they take away, but that's freaky. See, that's
They
crazy.
they take the daughter away, and you don't never see her again.
Yeah, like
While
why are they
parents'
letting?
backs are turned.
That's scary. Like that makes it hella creepy.
Well, that's the whole premise. Is he goes and he sees it, and because he snuck in, and because he didn't have the proper password, and all this, the penalty for that was not just, oh, we've discovered you, and now we're gonna harass you a little bit. It's that now your daughter gets to be one of these sex objects that's now part of just being used by this
Oh
cult.
damn, that's crazy.
Like you're gonna pay the ultimate price, and then it makes you wonder that he maybe had always been set up from the start, and that's how they get their supply.
Oh, that's how they
of
got
these,
him to
like,
go
sex
there.
kittens.
Wow.
Here, like in the picture at the end, their daughter's like holding this stuffed animal that it shows at the end when she walks off, like the stuffed animal's like laying there, like somebody put it down.
And
Walk.
of course, it's a bear. And if you know anything about Stanley Kubrick movies, he also throws that bear in as this nod to sexual deviancy in some cases, because in The Shining, there's that scene with the bear giving the dude like a BJ on the bed, which in itself was another one of those weird little tweaks that Kubrick made from the original King book. Because in the King book, I believe it was like a wolf. There was basically like a two furries that were getting down in this hotel that just kind of like disappear. And Kubrick, out of all the details he skips over, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to keep that one little part that most
That's
people don't
important.
even remember that part."
That's wild. Oh my goodness. That whole movie, just rewatching it, there's got to be so much more symbols in it that nobody has even like uncovered yet.
Well, it's a Christmas movie, which makes it kind of unique too. And then in a
Mhm.
lot of those scenes, they show like a star in various configurations, either in the party or out in the world. There's also like a lot of symbolism with like the lights. And
What's up with the
I wonder, 'cause
Hungarian
this is the
guy?
last movie, right? This is the last thing that he put out. And there's always been rumors since day one that we never get to see the director's cut. ... There's been some people imply that this is the movie that I think, killed him off when they saw his cut, and they were like, "Oh, no, you don't." I don't know if I believe that after all the people I've talked to, but it definitely feels like we're never going to see the director's cut
What,
version of it.
do you know why the guy was the Hungarian? You know, the Hungarian guy she's dancing with, the handsome older man? And
I
he's
don't
like,
know what's this part about.
well, I don't know, but I feel like there's something there. Like, I
I
feel
don't
like,
know. Like even the idea of not just they lure him there knowing he's going to do all the things, almost in the Squid Games way. They know those people are gonna, like, they're watching him long enough to know he's gonna do it, but also know he's eventually gonna risk his wife in the process, eventually risk his daughter in the process, but then that the wife will do it too.
And I feel like the wife might be CIA or naval intelligence, which is that weird sex connection with
oh,
the
yeah.
Navy guy that never really gets explained or comes back up again. I feel like that might be that they've been like, he's going and flirting with this occult underground group, basically like this Rothschilds surreal cult, right? Like a sex orgy cult. But meanwhile, his wife has been flirting with the CIA or naval intelligence.
You know the girls that the doctor Tom Cruise is flirting with, like in the beginning, the models,
Yeah.
their names were like, I'm trying to look up what their name was, but it was like an elite, like family name.
Well, that movie too, if for anyone that doesn't already know this, the part that's I find the most interesting is they actually shot that in the actual Rothschild mansion. Like they didn't make a set design based on it. They actually shot it in the
Oh,
same
shit.
place as that surreal dinner ball.
You know, but you know what I'm talking about though? How Tom Cruise and like the wife, she's dancing with the Hungarian guy, and then he's off flirting with the two girls.
It's been a while. I would
Yeah, I
need
haven't
I need
watched
more
it.
reference now. But
They're-
go on.
Yeah, like their name, it was like one of those names. I forget what it was, but it was like one of those famous last names of like,
Carnegie or
yeah.
Firestone or Rothschild or something where
And
you were
then
like,
that's another thing is that the guy who's playing the piano, I think his last name was Carnegie. Like, or like, there's like all these names in it, so I know it's like so much deeper than. But anyway,
no, Stanley Kubrick, every detail of every movie, it was almost like he was so into the occult that it's like his movies are almost built in that way that you can watch, like there's one level of thing, like almost three levels, like here's a hidden secret, here's another hidden thing. It's like each time you watch everything he's kind of done, you wonder even sometimes if he's connected other movies to other movies. Like he's an interesting guy.
Well, we
Like
were just talking about Midsummer, and I think the best analogy for me is that Eyes Wide Shut is just the rich old money European indoor version of Midsummer. Midsummer is for the poor people that do it outside, and Eyes Wide Shut is for the rich people that do it inside. It's like basically the same ritual.
Well, are we going to tie in Society now too, since you recommended it last week and I watched it?
I feel like if you've seen The Substance and you like The Substance, that you have to watch Society. But I would do it in that order too. I would probably, or I don't know. I don't know what best order it is, but they're kind of the same movie. One just has all of the Hollywood star treatment and like cinematography, and the other one feels like they were talking about something very serious, but they wrapped it up in the most absolute B horror movie, like 80s cheesy way. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to do the same movie if they hadn't made it so silly.
It's not what you think it is.
No, it's freaking.
It is a matter of good breeding, really.
It's so crazy.
I watched that too because you told me to watch it. I like the ending.
The ending's the whole movie, really. Like, because the rest of the time you just wonder what the hell, like, how's this going to resolve? Some kid keeps getting like persecuted all throughout his little town, and if you haven't seen it before, don't look into it. Don't like read about it or look at clips. Just go in blind and watch it.
My favorite old film is The Brides of Dracula. I've watched it all the time.
Is it a black and white one? Is this a Universal Monsters one?
It probably was black and white, but it's in color, so it's nice. It's nice. It's a good film.
Huh.
Brides of Dracula, is that you said?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's really good.
I will watch The Abyss a lot.
You love The Abyss.
I do. I have certain movies that I'll watch like over and over again. I'll watch Vanilla Sky. If I'm going to watch a Tom Cruise movie, I'm going to pick Vanilla Sky.
That's how I am with I just watched Nope again, but that's the thing is like I'm trying to like re-spark my inspiration.
I have a theory on this. I think I started to say this last week, and for some, we have the train of thoughts of squirrels sometimes. But I feel like even in like the dark trope of looking through conspiracies, and you get like in this Pizzagate shelf, and you get like stuck in this frazzle drip place, and then you're just like doom and you're like depressed for this period of time that this thing's going on. And then it's like enough people learn about that thing, you're almost like your energy isn't welcome there anymore. Like that it's no longer a maze for you. And you move on to another thing that's like pressing to
Right.
you and a new thing. And so I feel like in this world that we're in of like looking into stuff that not that it never looked into, it used to maybe be known by more people or less people, but it's just like once a certain amount of people, I wonder if you get released from that calling of needing to know it. And so it feels like, gosh, I used to be on such a calling of searching for knowledge, but now all these other people are on that shelf where we used to be the only ones holding the space. So sometimes it kept us up at night because we were the only ones holding up the whole shelf.
Right,
But now
right,
there's a million people all looking into the same stuff that was like our B side. It was like,
right.
I'm good with no
So you're
one
going
knowing
through
this
that
song.
too?
Yeah, I think all of us, because it was like we were the only ones that listened to this side of the album. Like we were the freaks and geeks. We were the ones at the weird lunch table. And now it's like every kid in school is into like Green Day became punk rock normal, or
Right.
whatever thing used to be the other thing that whatever, if it was your hip hop, if it was your punk, if it was your pop, whatever thing was your hidden thing, it's like our thing is now the consumption of the masses. And so it's not a turn on for if you've always been punk rock your whole life, if you've always been on the fringe, if you've always been, it's like we're looking for the new fringe because our song has become pop.
Yeah.
I feel like the exact same analogy with comic books and being obsessed with like really early X-Men or even before that, where it really was nerd and geek culture and the whole concept of being ostracized from society and being like this tiny little minority. Like that was the entire Marvel line. And now you can't get more mainstream than Marvel, right? It's Disney, it's Corpo Global. They got theme parks, like every single store pretty much in the world's got some kind of X-Men Avenger, whatever. But it really did used to represent like a very small niche of people. So I kind of see it as almost the identical version of that.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
just talking conspiracy and occult, but really, it happens to almost everything.
Yeah.
And if you look back, another thing too is if you look back in the newspapers like 1920s, 1930s, you'll see that they were also going through this novel period where everyone's talking about ancient Babylonian rites and Samaria and the Phoenician sacrifices. Like this stuff would be in the regular newspaper right next to all the advertisements because that was sort of the vogue of the day. And I think it's just like a full 100-year cycle, like almost to the day.
And then it becomes the niche, that it becomes the global world news, that it's like Bat Boy. But there was a time that it was like you could just pick up a paper from the early 1900s and it was like reptilian people under Los Angeles.
Right.
Like, I think that's a real
And
headline. I'm
someone
not
would
even
be
making
like,
it up.
"Oh, another one."
I'm going to write it and see in my Google.
The when I looked into that one, it was because the guy that owned that land. This is like the official stories. The guy that owned the land couldn't get any buyers, so he planted this story in a bunch of different newspapers about this ancient reptilian underground society on this
serious?
land,
That's
so
not
that he
real?
could flip it, so that someone might buy it because they're like, "I want to look into that."
Are you serious? That's where
That's
that's coming from?
That's the like the Snopes version of this is not real, but that's usually what the ultimate explanation was, is that it was the guy that owned that land paid for that story to show up in newspapers.
But there's another thing that in the whole like Babylon of Hollywood, where it gets dark, dark and seedy, that these catacombs of Hollywood, like LA is lizard people, but there's also all these actual catacombs. Like that people have gone into these maps. Like the lizard people were added to it somewhere else. But that's always what I wonder, in the same respect of like, let's just make this seem so silly. If we put lizard people, people will think the whole map's silly.
Yeah, that is all a lie.
And it's something scary. So if they have to go down a few tunnels, we'll just say there's lizard people down there.
You know, I
Ain't
think
fucking with
that
Boogeyman.
maybe I'm just like in this part of my life, like you were explaining perfectly. And maybe this is where people like get into weird hobbies, like scuba diving or volcano like volcano explorers. Like
Bodybuilding.
people get obsessed with volcanoes and they go and film them until they get burnt to a crisp.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why that's my algorithm where you guys were saying weird stuff on your algorithm. Like, I don't even go on Instagram anymore because, like, it'll be a clip and it'll
It's
just
the
be somebody
worst.
on a like an engine parasail, and they're over a volcano, and then they just are like, all of a sudden, the engine shutting down over the volcano, and there's nothing they can do about it. And I'm like, why is this this is insane? And like, and then I just don't go on Instagram. But I feel like I'm horrified, and then I like look like I gotta get off this. So it's I don't know.
there's
I
this
had a friend
there's
that
this
fighting actually, so that's creepy.
But
you,
I think what if like I do think there's a spot in the esoteric still. It's the conspiracies becoming flooded, but the esoteric is usually how we were saying everybody just reads the headline and no one reads the article.
yeah.
The esoteric is the article
Uh
still.
yeah.
So it's like the symbolism and all that stuff is still not in their forefront. It's in my head. I think like conspiracy usually leads to you start seeing all the weird stuff that whatever the cabal, whatever name you want to give each group at a time, they're up to, and they obviously believe there's power in it. And then you're like, oh, what are they up to with their little power, their little ritual? And then it's like where they'll like conspiracy will most of the time lead to spirituality somewhere. But I think in just spirituality without a compass of spirituality, it will eventually lead to conspiracy. If you have a compass of
Yeah.
spirituality, you'll usually head toward whatever that religion tells you to head to. But if you're just like, I'm really looking for my center right now and I'm not feeling grounded, like you usually will get inundated with a whole bunch of schools of thought that'll like, what is going on in the world? Like all of a sudden your head is like open to conspiracy, but it's really, I guess everything maybe is a conspiracy and attached.
I listened to this podcast about philosophy, and the guy was talking about the artist instead of like telling people about like how pissed off you are or whatever it is, that you just don't say pretty much anything and you take that angst and you put it into a project or a painting or a movie, and then whatever you wanted to communicate comes out into that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Or you just get drunk.
Or you could just get drunk, but I don't do that, so
Yeah,
I'm missing
So-
out.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
People be getting drunk here in Arizona. They go to the bar and they drink alcohol.
Painting or an
That's every-
instrument, like I think writing's the same way. Like if you
Yeah.
started to write a book, it's the
Right.
same exact kind of thing as painting, where you become a better writer as you're writing.
Mm.
And like I think it's the exact same kind of art form
It
of
is.
like
It's
contouring words together. Or
language
a
arts.
stand
That's why
up
they call
or
it
a
language
spoken
arts.
word, like even how Thomas has his whole thing together of like, and he would probably do it better now than last time and even better next time than the time before. It's like each time you do that thing, you become better at doing it. You could put together a
I feel like
presentation.
I want to interview people with my video camera instead of researching. So like usually I'm just reading the article, right? Or the book. But instead of reading the article, I like to just go to the person who wrote the article and film them and look at their face and be like, what are you talking about? And not read the article at all. But I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah. I think
That's what I think
in
about.
person is always good. And
Yeah.
IRL isn't.
But
is
who's going
always
to
nice.
want to like meet up to do that? Like everybody's like online, with the Zoom call.
I think you just go back to real life. I think there's a lot of people meeting up in studio or setting up outside, as long as you have decent recording equipment.
I think Donut Man on the Street style interviews are like the next logical iteration here. Like it would be adding gasoline to the fire a little bit.
Entertaining.
I
like
know
it.
you're a nice enough, like your energy is nice enough that I feel like you could be like, yo, yo, yo. Hey everyone, this is Donut Man on the Street, and today's question, and you could just ask people, and I don't think you'd get an awful response of like
You'd be like the
Illuminati
cool
news.
version of a Mark Dice. Like Mark Dice was like always a douche about it, right? But
Right.
that's how he got his entire kind of start, was being one of those man on the street interview guys.
Yeah.
Alex Stein used to do that.
Alex
I mean-
Stein, another great example. Yeah.
He's so funny.
I want to do that when we start
Why-
doing our Wednesday
Yeah,
night
what
project. I think we should do that.
Is that a light?
Yeah, a light fell. Like my cat was like, "I'm gonna love on this thing and love on this thing and
The
love
cat
on this
knocked
thing."
it over.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oof, I'm not gonna grab it."
Well, I'm gonna come out to Florida and do man on the street.
Period. When are you
Is
going
it
to Florida?
dangerous in Florida?
It looks like it's going to be early May because I was looking, and the rest of April, like pretty much the whole month of April, is Disney blackout dates. So the park is like going to be insane, and no one wants to really go in early May because it's so damn hot. So that's the perfect time for Donut to come and hang.
Everybody always accidentally comes at gay days, so don't do that to them. I
Well,
don't know what it
listen to
is.
I listen to
No,
a
I
lot
think
of
it's in June. I think whenever gay month is. I don't
listen to
know,
a
but
lot
I
of the Florida rappers, and they're always killing the ops.
I don't want smoke with any of these Florida rappers, man. And I've gone down these rabbit holes. Like they'll straight up just like murk 5 or 6 people in a crew and then drop a song about it, mocking them, saying their names, saying the exact gun they used, where it happened. And the police are just like kind of sitting back like, oh my God, these guys are doing so much of our work for us. It's great. But like the songs are catchy, man.
Yeah, I listen to all the songs, so that's why I don't want to do man on the streets. Maybe out there, maybe it's not. If
We'll
it's
Did you
keep
ever
you in
get
the,
a
bro, we're
puppet
gonna
donut?
keep you in the nice parts.
I know a couple puppets. I know a couple.
We're gonna bring donuts straight to Paramore.
I
And
got,
you don't know what that
I got
means.
to
But
connect on some old school puppets, but they're
Dang,
scary.
that's old
Like
school.
they're like Chucky is nice compared to. They look like Annabelle.
Annabelle from Chucky. You
Well,
know,
no-
Annabelle, the voice of Annabelle from Chucky, she ended up in her divorce settlement. She was Jennifer Tilly with part of The Simpsons. She's also the
Yeah.
voice of Annabelle from Chucky. Like she just made a comment last night because on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, shout out to Thomas with our Real Housewives episode. But she made a comment last night where somebody said, "Oh, like what, did you do okay in your divorce?" And she's like, "I ended up with part of The Simpsons. Honey, I don't buy diamonds with Bride of Chucky money. That's just my playtime."
Oh dang, that's a
Was she?
diss. Like
So was the Bride of Chucky named Annabelle too?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. She's just
Annabelle
was the
and
Bride of Chucky.
Annabelle's not
I was like-
connected. I'm kind of a
Wonder
Chucky
what her name was. then.
Chucky fan.
it's like Annabelle, Megan, and Chucky. They're all their own separate universes, but it's basically the same story.
Who's Megan?
The Megan is the AI robot, but Chucky, oh my goodness, it's such a crazy. This is like the Marvel universe in the movie Chucky. That the guy who is Chucky, right? The crazy, the voice of Chucky, the real Chucky, not Mark Hamill, like the real
Charlie Ray.
old school one. His daughter is the girl in like all the new Chucky movies. So it's just so cool to see the that in the Marvel universe of Chucky,
Wild.
Yeah.
I'm
She
into
did,
that
she
sort
did a
of
good
thing.
job.
Keep it in the family.
Have
I
you
love
heard
Chucky.
that
I
all?
always thought that was the coolest one.
Chucky was the first like pro LGBTQ movie out there. It was way ahead of its time.
Well, that one and one of the Nightmare on Elm Street, they had like a gay squad protagonist that ended up being the heroes of that movie. And even in retrospect, it's looked back on as like one of those very first ones that they did it subtly though. They didn't like Disneyfy it. Like it just happened to be part of the storyline.
In Nightmare on Elm Street?
I can't remember which one. I think it was Dream Warriors.
I was gonna say, I think it was 3. Yeah.
Also, Chucky. I know nobody probably cares about Chucky. Why am I talking about Chucky?
Dude, I love
We all love
Well,
Chucky.
and here's
He
the
was
other, it's
good.
like a possession. Like think of the levels of Chucky. Like we were just talking about that kind of stuff with a walk-in and like what they would do in the movie Hereditary or what they're preparing vessels for. If you didn't have a human vessel, could you hold it in a puppet or a doll or something of this nature, like Tales from the Crypt? But we see this happen again and again, or even in Harry Potter, or is it an egregore? What is it that you'd allow energy to go into? Harry Potter lore? I don't know.
Supposedly, there's like this island in the Caribbean somewhere where like they make dolls, like porcelain dolls that all have souls. So you have to treat them really nice and everything.
Isn't that technically transhumanism? Like, what's the difference between transferring my consciousness into a good guy doll while I find a new body so that my like soul and thoughts can live longer versus uploading it into a computer and then just downloading it back into a body later? It's almost like potato.
This is such
Yeah.
a squirrel thought, you guys, and this is such like a hard derail, but it just dawned on me. Isn't it so crazy? Everything we learn about orphan trains in the last 5 years and Cabbage Patch babies and everything. And then now think back to us as kids with Cabbage Patch dolls. Isn't it crazy they all came with the birth certificate?
Yeah.
Oh,
And like how we talk about the birth certificate and everyone gets, with maritime law and everything with the birth certificate and death certificate and everything that means to be like, you're in port, you're in birth at this thing. And like they did that with actual Cabbage Patch babies.
Well, and
Like-
also they were training an entirely new generation of kids of here's how normalized it is. Like if you want to create life, if you want a doll, if you actually want to pretend like you've got a baby, the first thing I do is register with the state. Like that's part of the toy.
Yeah. It's wild. I remember that because my first Cabbage Patch, her name was Cassie. So, and I remember
mine was Teddy Roosevelt.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Did you name it
Yeah.
yourself or
No, it came with that
pre-made?
on its birth certificate, and it was a preemie. It was a little bald baby.
I
was
feel
Theodore
like it would
Roosevelt,
be so badass.
Teddy.
There had to be some kids out there that like burned the birth certificate and they're like, my Cabbage Patch baby's gonna be off the grid.
Well, I think you could change their name. If you didn't like
That's
it, you could
hilarious.
change it on the birth certificate and you can mail
And
it in.
mail
and
it to them. You had
Yeah.
to mail it to them to change it, and they'd mail you back a new birth certificate.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But you had to like register your baby name with Cabbage
Yeah.
Patch.
The 2025 version, you mail it back in and you change your baby's gender based on whatever you
Somewhere
want
there's
it
a
to be.
sticker, Thomas, that's like a 23andMe logo mixed with the Cabbage Patch. Like somewhere there's something there. There's
Yeah.
something like
There's a
there
bear
needs to
there.
be a short comic book on Cabbage Patch babies and orphan trains, or like one of those little chicklet books. What are they called?
The Chick Tracks, yeah.
Chick tracks. Yeah.
It's weird how like mind control the toys are for a generation, and like my generation was the Furbies. Like what was that programming people for? Because
Layla,
dolls
Coco.
are ancient. They use dolls so people will grow up to be like the dolls. Like in a lot of ancient cultures, like it's not new, like dolls, but now the dolls have become like Homo economicus with like the nice Corvette and the Barbie mansion and all that.
Oh, Barbie got it
Or-
all.
We don't have it necessarily the tools back then that we have now, that if you took your Furby and made it say something into your computer, it would translate what Furby was saying, and it might creep us the F out because there's no such
Verbiage.
thing as jumble. Like it was actually saying something.
Yeah, it would say
Somebody
like
programmed them.
Waylo, Coco, and all that. I remember just because I had like a set of them. Because if you had more than one, and they would sit and talk to each other.
Yeah.
That's
But-
wild.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
people's Furbies would turn on after like 9 years of not working and then be like talking in a whole like people had crazy
Latin.
yes, people had crazy Chucky incidences with their Furbies back when. Like
That's
I was a nanny at the time, and for my sister and my brother-in-law, and he would leave the Furbies on my bed, like, so I'd go in my room, like, like when I get home at night, and the suckers would start talking, and you couldn't shut them up. It was so frustrating. It was funny, but it wasn't.
Have you ever seen the guy that turned a synthesizer, or he created a synthesizer out of Furbies so that every different key on his keyboard triggered a different Furby at like a different note or something, and so you could like play music with actual Furbies talking.
Look at how creepy, even like this. Adorable, cuddly, evil. How Furbies took over the world.
They're pretty cool.
Somebody should bring back, here's $1 million idea. If you run with this, when you're sitting on your yacht one day, you can cut a check. Somebody should just run one that you can program really easily with your own words now or app. So like if you got somebody a Furby from far away, their Furby could just turn on, you could program it to like, you know how people have a picture frame and you can just upload pictures into it.
Is it 50 Shades of Grey where she would masturbate with the little Furbies from like the McDonald's ones that vibrated?
I never watched it.
I didn't watch it. I read the book.
Great.
Those eyeballs look human size.
Ding, ding, ding.
You don't need to put any audio if you play that video. The audio is not as cool as the visual part.
Damn.
There.
But yeah, this guy just like turns a
He
whole
looks like
Furby.
a Furby.
He does look like a Furby. That was it. That was the most. That
I
was
feel like
British.
he looks like he was like a kid on something. But that's what, like, he was a famous like
He's got
8-year-old.
swag. This guy's got swag.
Well, his whole thing is that he makes synths without using computers. So he'll like take anything other than a computer to turn it into some sort of synthesized music.
They kind of look like gremlins.
Yeah, they do.
They are weird.
Or whatever.
Gremlins. But even that, like a gremlin would be some level of a cryptid. And then it's like, are these things coming out of portals? Where are these gremlins coming from? Or gremlins seem Gog Magog. Like,
oh, before I forget, can anybody do an RFK impression?
You just got to screw your voice real bad.
I could probably do a better Trump impression than RFK.
Because I don't see a lot of people doing RFK impressions.
They probably hurt your throat.
Yeah, it probably destroys.
Like even
your
the
throat.
thought of it when I was trying to like, yeah, I probably could, but I feel like it would really bother my throat, and then I'd be coughing for a minute.
The Furby should be an RFK voice.
it should all drop medical facts. Like it should all be quotes from his book about Dr. Fauci.
Every single thing
Furbies on
it's like you're hanging on to every word because it feels like it's gonna be his last words.
How much can it be to actually make a new Furby? Like make a whole new design of a whole new little creature that we just have with the talky mouth that says a little, like, if we just have to put it together, then it's gonna be here in May. Like, let's figure this thing out.
Honestly, it would be
we
way
could be aligned.
Get a regular Furby because there's a million different ways that you can take something called like a Raspberry Pi. They got like little like mini versions of it where you just upload a certain program and solder it into a Furby, and now it does everything you want. Connect to Wi-Fi, you can like upload things for it to say. Like we can, I mean, that's definitely doable in the next couple weeks. Like not even, and it looks like used Furbies are like $20-$30 on eBay.
We got to make brand new, like $30 for a Furby. We need some like something we can put together from Temu for like $130. Like we need it in pieces. That
you're talking about
together.
Scaling this thing already?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, we could start with a prototype. The prototype's not a bad starting point.
3D print Crypto Alchemist says that's probably the best.
Oh yeah, we could 3D print a little Furby.
Yeah, because the technology in it doesn't seem like it's that high. See, where you guys, we're gonna come together with this.
I think the eyeballs are what got it so popular because the eyeballs look like human eyeballs.
Yeah.
They do have something big about I always thought they were a little creepy though, a little kind of bird.
They are creepy, but they're cute too. It's like What's going on?
They hit something in your uncanny valley, like right in the middle, like
Yeah.
right where the gremlins hit you, where you're like, oh,
Oh, what
so
about the
cute, so
Ark of the
creepy.
Covenant? It keeps on getting brought
Oh
up.
yeah.
What's that
Oh
all
yeah,
about?
let's
Because Gremlins is a lot like
hot
Indiana
image
Jones.
shit.
It's like the
I've
same.
been telling everybody who's in Ethiopia.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
These out travel with Bathsheba, Solomon's mistress.
Oh, I have a workout question.
All right, shoot
Okay.
it.
I've become very, very weak and fragile with all of my hardcore research over the years. And I want to uh, get strong, but I'm
Man, get
getting
strong.
older and I'm not as flexible. So I was like, oh, maybe I could just stretch all the time. Or is this a terrible idea? Because it seems like, the
Stretching is
body like,
good.
Tai Chi,
Stretching
man.
is good, and everybody should do it. I don't stretch like I should really, and I think because flexibility is important. But here's the thing: if you want to prevent aging in your body and you want to like keep your metabolism running optimally, you just need to lift weights because, um, like even cardio. Like some people are like, oh, I'm gonna just walk and run, and I should lose weight. But cardio is like it's it's like doing an hourly job. You get paid while you work, right? But lifting weights, it is like owning rental properties. You get paid while you sleep, It increases your metabolism. Um, it increases your bone density. So it does all the things. Like there's nothing bad about it. Like it keeps you young. Like
okay. So just jump into lifting
yeah,
weights.
yeah. And I mean, you can stretch too, but I don't like some people are like, "Oh, you have to warm up on the treadmill and then you do this and that." Like, none of that. You do warm up sets. So like if you're benching, then you do like just the barbell like for 5 reps and then add a little bit of weight and do a few more reps until you hit. So any exercise you're doing, if you're targeting like your quadriceps, then I'm going to do some light reps and progressively get to the point where I'm lifting heavy to warm up my quads. I'm not going to sit there and like stretch them because sometimes stretching is counterproductive to it all. Like you could actually hurt the muscle before you go into it. So I don't stretch beforehand. I don't warm up doing cardio, none of that. Like cardio has its place and it's after you work out or fasted in the morning before you ever eat anything. Like and those are like if you want to burn fat doing cardio, those are the 2 times to do it.
Oh, okay. Because I got to get my Florida body on before I come out to Florida.
Well, hit me
Yep.
up. I'll
And
give
then
you
If
all
you
the
want to
advice
hang
you
out with
want.
me and Thomas, you better have your Florida body on.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah, that's
I'm
why I
going.
got.
I'll be on a cruise while Donut's getting in shape. So
Hell yeah.
I'll be on a cruise. Oh wait, here I'm gonna pull up the reason that the Ark of the Covenant is trending.
Because like you got RFK doing like pull-ups with his pinky, and like banging celebrities, like Cheryl from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So the target is a container. This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. The target is similar in shape to AOL, a coffin, and is decorated with seraphim. See sketch.
What is
And
this?
this is the Ark of the Covenant from the CIA documents in December 5th, 1988.
19. This is like they found the Ark of the
Well,
Covenant.
that's what, yeah, this is the reason that it's
With remote
trending this
viewing, right?
week.
RFK released these files.
Yeah, there was remote viewing done. See, like secret CIA files claim Ark of the Covenant has been found and it may lie somewhere in Ethiopia. For ages, the resting place of the chest said to house the 10 Commandments eluded discovery, yet CIA records assert that the Ark of the Covenant has been located. The Bible recounts that the Israelites, after escaping Egypt around the 13th century BC, constructed the ark into which Moses placed the Ten Commandments. In the 1980s, the CIA explored the abilities of individuals claiming to remotely perceive details about the far-off objects and events and people. So, like in remote viewing, I feel like there's here's the mosque that
What
it's
are
in, the
those?
dome, and
Well, I listened to this whole interview probably like 15 years ago where this guy from Ethiopia was explaining that he had the Ark of the Covenant and what was in it. And he even said that there's a jar of manna, but the manna was all moldy. Like that it was. So I believed it has been there because allegedly it went with King Solomon's mistress, Bathsheba, and because she was the queen of Ethiopia. So she took it back with her. He sent it back with her to Ethiopia.
I've
So
heard the
she would
same thing about the original Bible, that like the I've got a friend that's like been a Rastafarian his entire life, like an actual black guy, not one of the white Rastafarians. And that as long as I've known him, he's always sworn that that's what he's always told, is that Ethiopia has the only original version of the Bible, and that there's like some sort of a protective force or like a religious law that prevents the Vatican from coming in and just taking
Yeah.
it somehow.
when you get into the things of like the Book of Thomas, and when people talk about the Book of Ethiopians, the Book of Egyptians, even Mary of Magdalene, I think there's like Enoch, the Book of Enoch, those
Mhm.
are all in the Ethiopian Bible. So people say it's like the untouched from the Catholic version of the Bible, but then a whole bunch of other Christians will be like, we don't acknowledge those books, like some of the books. But that's where you get the Book of Thomas, which is the Q Gospel. And so that's like in the full circle of it, no pun intended, in the full
I,
queue of it.
I wish I had like one of them like satellite drones that I could go like fly around like the jungle, out there, like where all the lions are in Africa.
Just
You
to
I'm
see
could.
not
that.
gonna go, but I'd like
You
to.
don't want to go on safari?
No, but I'd like to go fly around like at home because there's so much crazy stuff out there. You got like
Yeah.
anacondas probably chilling. I don't know if anacondas are from Africa, but they're in
But
the.
I'm sure they have some freaky ass snakes.
You got anacondas in Florida?
You know
This
what happens in Florida is a lot of people get pet snakes. I think there's a lot of boa constrictors out here.
Yeah,
Where
there's like in
people
the
will,
toilet, right?
well,
this is
they'll
the
get them as
kind of
pets,
shit.
and then they'll just abandon them outside, and they don't have any like natural predators, so they get huge and all over the place.
See, this is what happens when like you get disenchanted from conspiracies and you need that next like hit of like I need to know some secrets. This is what you end up doing. It's
I
like
want to see a giraffe take out a family. That's what I want right now.
This is the kind of stuff that'll come up on my algorithm too, where
you
it's
got a
like
cool algorithm.
when people are in Safari, and I
Show me
just
that
like
algorithm.
when it's like people. That's how if I went on dates, like we're on a first date, I would say, pull up your algorithm right now. I want to see what your algorithm is, and I would judge you based on your algorithm and see if we can hang out further.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you would take them on this safari and see how they deal with the giraffe coming at them. Like, that'll be a
no,
great
that's what I thought too.
icebreaker.
Yeah,
That's not all. Let's see.
that might be a good
Look,
business.
I know what front you're putting on your little profile, and we're sitting here, but what happens when you think you're gonna die under a giraffe?
Yeah,
Like, that's how I want to get to know you.
yeah. We gotta like fast forward to see if this is good. Like,
it's like going on a road trip.
yeah. That giraffe video was sick.
I know. I was trying to find one. Sometimes I can find them like different animals chasing people on safari. Like I've seen tigers running after those
There's
jeeps.
no fucking way.
My algorithm's full of people like dancing.
There's people on boats sometimes, you guys. Impressive ones. I'll just find one.
There's this guy that dances. It's hilarious. He goes to like a supermarket and he gives someone the phone, and then like he just starts dancing, but it's hilarious.
I don't know anything about these algorithms.
Hold on. I hope the commercial's over when I go to it. Let's see.
My algorithm is against me.
Look at this shit, you guys.
Oh yeah, that's not real. I saw that. That was AI. That's real. How
That is
scary
100% real. Hippos can
Insane.
swim, dog. They're the deadliest animal on the planet.
They kill more humans than anything else.
Yeah, that is the
Hippos.
deadliest animal right
Look
there.
at that thing. If that thing was coming out, man, fuck hippos, bro.
Hippos?
Fuck hippos.
Look at that.
Look at that. Like if they didn't have a boat and they were just like fishing,
Gone.
they're screwed. Look, it's like
And that thing will come up again, boom. And they
Look
can
how
hold their breath for
powerful.
like minutes. Look, you don't even know where it's at, still there.
you're just screwed.
They're like, oh, good, we're far away. No, bitch, still coming.
Oh god, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Maybe me too.
Hippos are cute but deadly. Look at it, it's still there. They're like, oh, we better turn the engine on again. They're like, oh, we're safe. Look at,
Would a shotgun take care of a hippo?
no.
Yeah, see,
I
that's
don't-
terrifying. That's like a bear. Like, what are you talking about?
You have a shoot with his
Shotgun
mouth open, like on the video game, where you find the weak spot.
The bear?
Like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You got to find
Yeah,
it
King
like
Hippo. Yeah.
King Hippo.
You gotta
yeah.
punch him in the
And you
mouth,
can't
and then
even
his
eat it.
pants fall down, and then you
Like,
gotta punch
right,
him in the
I know.
belly.
Can you eat hippo meat?
I mean, you can eat any kind of meat, don't it?
I know in Florida.
That's
the-
what you start saying to women where it's like man versus bear. And you're like, okay, bitch, but what about man versus hippo?
Yeah. Right. I know in Florida.
I wouldn't
The
pick the hippo
gator-
actually on that one. To
yeah.
be honest, I wouldn't. I would pick man.
Yeah, you're like, I'll take whatever the man.
Yeah.
If you came home with a gator and you caught one, the whole tribe, I mean, you were the king of that tribe for that night and maybe some leftovers in the morning. Because it was a rare delicacy.
Get this gator the hell out of here. What are you doing, man?
Rhinos don't have a chance against hippos, but here's something that I don't understand more. Like if we're life after people, let's say Mad Max shit happens. I just want everyone to know you guys can get a horse. I'm getting a rhino. I'll feed my rhino the same. They're the same kind of temperament. I'll like build a good saddle for my rhino, and might not be able to run as fast as your horse from the get, but rhinos can run fast, and I will knock your horse off its feet.
Damn right.
Like I've planned this out. Like you can't ride a hippo; it's not
No, you-
tameable. But rhino, you could tame a rhino.
Y'all would be good in Florida because you guys can go fishing.
Yeah, I could go rhinos a little deep in the water. Manatees seem like some kind of hippo. Like hippo manatee don't seem far off from each
Oh,
other.
that's another thing in the news right now. You got demonic
Oh yeah, I'm
sea lions.
I'm pulling it up.
Demonic sea lions.
Yeah, you're like,
Huge
this
in
can't
the
be
news
real.
right
Chaney
now.
can't just put demonic sea lion in the Google and it comes up. Yes.
That picture I sent you, I thought it was a funny meme. Turns out that's the real image ABC ran with. The demonic sea lions are concerned because of the toxic algae.
See, I want the picture. Oh, here it is.
But
Here's
these-
the picture.
This came out the exact day where we have 1,028 days left, the whole woke green agenda. And because of this toxic algae, and I'm reading the article and it's like, yeah, it's toxic algae, but I mean, the toxic algae serves a function. It's
another one of God's creatures, man.
And there was another report of sharks making demonic noises as they eat.
Oh, let me get the sea lion out from next to me. It's frightening.
It is frightening.
Sharks making demonic noises while they eat. I'll put that
That was
in.
another story in the news.
Noises. And I like just putting it right into Google. So I'm like, no, you can find this too when you're showing it to your friends.
I like this new trend that we start labeling a bunch of animals demonic again, and it just gets you interested in animals all over again.
Demonic hippo attacks boat.
We just
that
have
thing
a
was
channel.
insane. It was just jumping up that thing was You know, his like wife at home was like, "You better bring home some food tonight."
I can't find demonic sharks, but it does say sharks. Like there is sharks making sounds and it being
Yeah,
recorded
it's
all
not.
over the.
They didn't run with the demonic on the shark
But
story.
there is tons of stories about shark noises being recorded this week.
Yeah.
But I know that demonic sharks, demonic sea lion. It is weird.
What
Like,
was
what-
funny because I thought the sea lion was a seal. So I looked up demonic seal, and then all these like sigils of seals popped
Oh, I
up.
bet.
It's all just like John
Oh.
D and
They're
Ella.
just John D. Seals. Yeah.
Well, then that's probably the spell. Like demonic seals, they're trying to freaking make you.
Oh, yeah, like the same way a seal, a demonic
Yeah.
seal. So they just
Yeah,
want you to
because in
think
a
of a
dream, like
Yeah.
if somebody's dreaming about a seal, then usually they've sealed something off in their in their mind, something they don't want to think compartmentalized.
So
If-
it's like the news wants to just say like put a demonic seal on something.
Yeah,
And so instead of it actually being like a pentagram, they're like,
It's a
here, we'll just put
seal.
a seal.
Is
They'll
a sea
never see
lion a
it.
seal?
and an ion, right? So it's a demonic seal ion.
Is
Yeah,
a
because a
sea-
seal.
Oh yeah, because it's a sea lion.
Oh,
a
yeah.
seal ionosphere.
Yeah, a
They're
demonic
putting
seal.
demonic
Back to that.
seals into the ionosphere. Bam.
Back to
We
the ionosphere.
Chemtrails.
Full circle.
Chemtrails are real.
Sea lions and
For
seals,
real, man.
are they the same thing?
I think
What?
they're different. Let's see.
Sea
Sea
lions and seals.
Lions versus seals. Because I feel like one's cute and one has a dick nose. But let's see. Sea lions versus seals. It's like gators versus. Oh, both these look so cute.
Zephyr got the Illuminati comic already. That's incredible. Thank you, Zephyr.
I know we have to talk about it. It's exciting.
Man,
Okay,
they
look at
were
these
so
two
mean to these-
cuties, you guys. I can't.
I got a stack that right before we hit record, I've got a big stack that I was putting together.
You know, that's like at the Oscars, they all look like sea lions clapping, you know?
They don't look too much different, except
Yeah,
for
they're like
color.
the same thing. They look like a pug.
Yeah, you can kind of tell the difference. You know how like it looks like this one has a fatter face and then this one's like pointier.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
one on
sea-
the right looks more delicious. Like you can eat it looks like it will taste like eel or something.
Look at how
Blubbery
it's
and
making it. Look at look at this one.
good.
It looks like a pug.
It does.
All
That
right.
face. That looks like a meme coin.
No, I'll tell you something so silly. So everything has if you take a trip on like if you go on a cruise, we couldn't for the one time we were going on a cruise and we got pulled out of line, and I get pulled out of line all the time when I travel on planes, but never when I go on cruises. So when we're being pulled out of line and pat down, I'm like, oh great. Like there goes my pot pen. Like what's about to happen right now? And
Uh-oh.
they were like, oh, they took my wife's steamer for her clothes. And so I was like, oh, this is strange. They took her steamer and she like threw a hissy fit that I'm like, they let us have the pop-ins. I'll buy you 10 steamers when we get off this boat. Like, let's go. Screw that steamer.
Yeah.
And so we were just talking about it today, and we were telling a friend of ours, like, oh, if you cruise, don't bring a steamer. And they were like, huh, why? You can bring like a hair dryer, you can bring a flat iron, like what is it gonna blow a fuse? Like, why can't you bring a steam? Are you gonna you can light the whole boat on fire with a curling iron? Like, why can't you bring a steamer? And then so it's like, oh yeah, we had to pay a lot for laundry service and stuff to get our shit ironed. And I'm like,
Oh.
follow the damn money. Like,
Yeah, that-
like it was like a conspiracy, even though it seems like something so silly that where everyone's like, you really do think everything's a conspiracy. I'm like, it is. If something doesn't make logical sense, it's the something is to rob you. If you're like, why can't I do this simple thing and no one around can answer? And they're like, sorry, I didn't make the rules. We're just doing this thing. It's just because it's costing you money. And so I just think that's a lot of what we do in life is get passed from one person doing this to the next. Like, I don't know, it's coming from the top up. Like, make a phone call India and talk to them about it, like whatever it is. And so it's just like we all go through just being like complacent and never asking why. But I always ask why. Like, I just don't ever settle. It'll be years that things will just be plaguing me. Like, why did they take the steamer? So, anyways, it was that little thing today that I'm like, I don't know. You never know. It's like everything does matter.
I got
It
a
does.
So
well,
write
my
your
wo-
cruise boat companies and tell them, hey, we want to bring our steamers on. We don't want to pay for your shitty laundry service.
when I was leaving Japan, coming back to the great America, they pulled me aside before I got on the flight and they questioned me and searched me. And they were like, "Are you a YouTuber?" And I was like, "Nah, I try, I try." Like, say, they're like, "You have video equipment." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I dabble. I try to do." It was a little scary.
But it's so weird where you're like, I mean, yeah, like I try. I guess I am a YouTuber.
You want to say no though, because they could potentially say, "Up, well then you're here to do business instead of pleasure." So that's usually you want to just say like, "I'm just trying to record my memories." That's all. That's the best thing you can say. Nope, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just recording my memories.
And before I left, it snowed, and it like never snows, and like the snow stuck on the ground. It was pretty magical.
That's awesome. That was just for you.
It was. And then I had a lot of fun in the snow.
It seems
What-
crazy in general in Japan, like a whole different country. I mean,
It's
obviously, but
all
like a whole
Japan.
different culture, a whole different like reality, a whole different like even the technical like part of we just think everything's so dystopian sometimes with technology in a way that they've leaned in to certain parts of it that it seems kind of intriguing. Like parts of it are
It's
Well,
so
they gave us the Matrix because they made Ghost in the Shell first. So I think that if anything, they were way ahead of the curve on being dystopian and being like all the transhumanist sort of skepticism. They were there before we were there.
Even the red and blue pill comes from a ghost story of a ghost that haunts the toilets, and he gives you red or blue toilet paper.
What?
That's a very famous
What?
Why would
Japanese
you want red
lore.
toilet paper? That sounds
Well, you choose one. Are you going to choose the red toilet paper or the blue toilet paper? And that's where the red pill comes from.
That kind of sounds like Harry Potter too. The ghost in the toilet.
There's a ghost in the toilet in Harry Potter too.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
moping Myrtle or something
Yeah.
like I'm sure I got that wrong, but whatever.
It is Myrtle. I don't. It probably is Moping Myrtle, something like that.
I'm looking at right now. Sometimes my late night brain does not attach to my fingers of like it's moaning Myrtle. That was really good.
Moaning. Yeah, that
Gross.
was good.
The ghost in the bathroom. Moaning Myrtle.
If you had to be a ghost, that's probably one of the worst like things to get tied to. Like you're just gonna haunt a bathroom.
But she haunted the boys' bathroom, so
That's the
I mean-
last place. There's nothing hot about that.
you're right. Actually,
There's a bunch of dudes taking grumpies all day, and that's what you're gonna haunt.
dude, that's the one thing that bothered me about like the whole making it gender neutral bathrooms is that women's restrooms used to be pretty damn clean, and all the gender neutral ones, like, it's hit and miss now. Hate it.
Gender neutral bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unisex, right? Unisex bathrooms,
Yeah.
like a gas station bathroom.
Like a single
well,
stall. Like a single you lock the door behind you like normal.
like Starbucks used to have men and women's bathrooms, and now it's all unisex. And it's like toilet seats are up, piss all over it. You're like, oh, thanks.
I was at a convention today, this whole week, and the weirdest thing happened on the way today, like it shut down around 3 and everyone's going home. And as I'm going back to my car with like my boss and one of my coworkers, and as we're getting into the car, the guy next to us just opened the door and just pees right on the ground, like busy parking lot, packed parking lot. He just opened the door and just peed directly on the ground and then closed the door and drove off like it was nothing. I thought it was pretty wild.
Damn.
Like he didn't even like walk off into the distance or nothing.
Like,
so
this ain't Europe. Shit.
I know. We won't be on Restream for too long. We'll move over to StreamYard and then everybody will be able to talk together. Like the chat is like, you should tell the folks over in SSGG YouTube to come over to the Project Chaney and hang out with them in the chat too. But I'm like, I don't know when they're there, but at least their chats will be able to pull them up on like Rumble and stuff. But StreamYard, my God. Like they got cult expensive, like so quick. Restream, just do a redo so I can pull up Rumble comments here. Because I never even get to see what Rumble write live stream. Anyway, so shout out if you're watching on Rumble right now or on the Secret Society of Good Guys YouTube.
how is that channel even still up?
There's like diehards that sit over there. There's like a few hundred people that watch every episode just over there by themselves. They just watch on SSGG.
It's
Like-
more searchable though, if you think about it.
Yeah, if you're just looking for this show and you heard about it from someone, you might be able to find it easier than trying to find Project Chaney
Yeah.
or something and then find. But then I have all this audio where I could release audio, and I've actually had so many people write me, and I've been so bad about looking at my DMs. So many people like, did you ever release another episode? Because somewhere at like way back when we did something about Mary, that's the last audio episode I released of SSGG on my audio. Even though I pay for all this audio stuff every month, that I'm like, oh, I should upload the audio to there. I didn't like, there's a whole audience there that doesn't even know about this.
Yeah.
Honestly would probably make a better audio than most other podcasts would, because we don't really have too many visual cues that like you have to watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you hang out and you're into the format and you're just like, whatever, this is stupid, silly, and I'm learning and laughing, and you're into whatever it is. But there's people that I didn't even realize how many people were like, hey, I've been listening to the audio of the show. Where did it go? I was like, oh my gosh, I need to check my DMs more. So I apologize, you guys. I'm bad at it on every single one of my social medias. I always plan, like I have good intentions, but it's my road to hell with answering DMs. And then I like end up spending more time on one platform because I'm just like, I can't go over to the other one and see the amount of bubbles.
So often I'll get a message and it's like, in one day I'll get one. It's like, oh, hey, you haven't responded to me on Telegram. And then someone else will be like, hey, you never responded to me on WhatsApp. Hey, you never responded to me on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, on Twitter. Like, sometimes I just go for a month without checking every single one of these different. And it's weird though, because there's certain platforms that I know, like if I want to talk to like Slick Dissident, right? Like I got to talk to him on Telegram. If I want to talk to one of my friends, Jacob Isbell from the Mormon Show, I got to go to Messenger. Like there's just no other way. And if I want to get to Chaney, I'm sure I could probably just text you anyways. But like there's some people, like if you don't message them on Twitter, you're not going to get a response. And it almost feels like getting snubbed, but it's just like, you just don't understand. Like for me, if you try and call me or text me and I don't know that you're coming at me, like you'll never get a response, because I feel like my phone's like a honey trap device. Like if you've called it, you've already outed yourself as someone that I know that I probably don't want to talk to, right? Like you would have hit me up through one of like my other channels.
I always I have no context when I text Thomas. I just send him ideas and I don't expect a comment back because I know he's just going to somewhere come across this message, but usually if he's about to write me back, like in something, and then he'll answer what I wrote him. But it's never pressing. Like I know if I want to reach him somewhere, even texting isn't necessarily like that would be my fastest route, but that might not be his.
I don't even know. So I mean, I go through phases. Like maybe I'm checking Instagram this month and I'm not looking at anything else. Who knows?
Yeah.
I like
so-
feeling not beholden. Like that was one of the things that I think I missed the most. What Donut was saying before about before we're like online 24/7, but just not having a reason that you can get a hold of me 24/7, right? Like the
Yeah.
fact that you even have a phone now, if someone can't reach you at any given moment, it's like, well, explain yourself. And that didn't used to exist. You never have to explain yourself that you couldn't be reached. It was just like I was out, and that was the end of it. That was the whole conversation.
Dude, I guess my mom, when she was like single before she met my stepdad, she would leave the phone off the hook so people, just in case people called and she didn't want them to think that she wasn't home. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's so weird.
That nowadays, can you imagine? Like, it's just a busy signal.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I just needed me time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that the amount of everybody need to know every second of what everyone's doing, but it slowly creeped into everyone's life that they're like, oh, everyone's gonna want pictures of this. Like it's actually obligatory in a way, like, oh, I'm gonna put it, because aunts and uncles and grandparents, and like sometimes there's just other things happening that it's just like somewhere our ability to take a photo of every moment, it's like not for us anymore. Like the
Well,
moments
it's for
aren't
the
for us.
algorithm now.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that all of those Flickr albums and all of those like all the memories you digitized and sent into these services so you can put on a DVD for grandma, like all of that was really feeding what we've got now. Like we've been telling the computers about how social interactions work and everything.
The computer's next level.
Do you think the computer all like ChatGPT, Grok, do you think they answer to the same mainframe eventually? Do you think it all attaches to the same pyramid
Probably not.
eventually,
It
or do you
all
think
goes
they're
to
totally
CERN.
separate?
Goes to CERN.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a Coke Pepsi sort of situation where technically they're all competing, they've all got their proprietary formulas, but if like one of the plebeians tries to infiltrate Coke and then sell the secrets of Coke to Pepsi, Pepsi just like tells Coke, and then they both prosecute the person. They'll prosecute like you for breaking up this particular dynamic that exists at a higher level. So technically they're independent, but also they will group up against you.
Do you talk to the AI? I've been talking to the AI lately.
Yeah, what are you saying to the AI?
Just like everything. I'll be asking it all these different questions about Elon, public figures, just tons of stuff.
I wanted to ask you,
Every
Donut,
yeah.
from your, I mean, I know Nick Sorter
I need to get
talked about
even.
it, but the wolf soda, like I never heard anything
Wolf
about
soda,
it.
Wolf cola.
Yeah, Wolf Cola.
This is a joke I did. I thought more people were It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans, but this is a real story that came out where these influencers are being paid by these big soda companies, Big Soda Exposed. And I just erased every time they just wrote soda or cola, and I replaced it with Wolf Cola, which is just this funny episode of It's Always Sunny. And people were in the comments like, wow, and like really like pissed off at Wolf Cola now, even though this is I just did it as a joke on the internet. And I even the one comment that pissed me off the most that I screenshotted was, this channel is mockery news, like Bat Boy. It's not real stuff. So just because I did that, now like people are like, this is a fake funny channel, but whatever. Like it's like there's more truth in the funny
I
stuff
have
than there is in
on my Instagram, and it was a picture that, like, I mean, I hate like, oh, it went viral. Let's just say it like got more clicks than my normal amount of whatever posts I put up. But I took a picture of Pete Davidson, and I just took the Finger Lakes map that was on Hunter Biden, and I put it on Pete Davidson's chest, and I said, if Pete Davidson just got a Finger Lakes tattoo, would we talk about it then? And that's all I put on it. But everybody was just like, no one it's like somewhere people's brains are broken and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Pete Davidson got a Finger Lakes tattoo.
Uh-huh.
Like, it became like the whole concept of the post, like people thought I was outing Pete Davidson, like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this yet. You're blowing my mind. And I'm like, I'm not saying anywhere that Pete Davidson actually has a Finger Lakes tattoo. I just want to have the conversation about somebody that does have the Finger Lakes tattoo. But if I put up Hunter Biden, I'm going to get my account taken down.
When my videos first started going viral during the lockdowns, it was all new to me, getting the views. And this was the time when demon semen was like a popular, I don't know if you remember that story at all, but this was like the huge story. And I was like, I said something about it and people took it that I wasn't on board with it. And people are like, are you kidding me? There is such thing as demon semen, da, da, da. And I wasn't saying that there wasn't. It was just my attitude of just laughing and burping on camera. They didn't understand how you could talk about such a serious topic like demon semen.
How is that a serious topic? That sounds silly.
We get in trouble so much on
the-
this show because of like we're laughing and then 2 sentences later. It's not because we're laughing at that thing. It's just like in that same space that we're holding. It's like I've just been talking. It's like this stuff for so long. I'm not making a mockery of demon semen, but how can we not make a mockery of demon
Is
semen?
it literal or is this like code for something else that I just don't know about?
Well, so I did my next video and I was like, look, everybody, I agree with y'all. I think there is it out there. And then people are like, okay, good, because I almost unfollowed. But it was like my first time getting the crowd in the comments, and it was
You got to give the people what they want, and I guess it's demon semen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy times.
I think demon semen would get a lot of clicks.
Yeah, it was.
Like if you, whatever it was, like I see like on my algorithm on YouTube, demon semen.
Someone's got to be marketing. That's got to be like lube or something.
Or like hair product.
I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he's like, I'm going to make a water that's like Viagra and call it tap water. Tap that.
Tap water. Tap water is a great name, though.
That is a good name.
Like,
I heard Utah just banned the water, putting the rat poison in it.
With the fluoride?
Yeah, the fluoride.
They're the first state.
And
I was there.
You guys, is there breaking news right now about like an RFK blackmailing scandal? Cool people in my audience, fill me in and I will pull up, like, tell me the details if you guys know the details on the RFK blackmailing scandal, if it's breaking news or if I'm just behind.
Only we got to do it in his voice.
I know it. Well, it's interesting that you said his voice, and I'm like, did you bring it up because of the blackmailing scandal, or were you just randomly bringing up RFK's voice?
Voice is like, he's like, I saw Ron Paul like in person like 8 years ago, and I ran up on him with my video camera, and like I always seen him on TV, and then I saw him in real life, and he's like this little fragile old man, and the wind blew, and I swear he almost blew away with the wind.
He blew away with the wind.
This is a real like experience I had at the Arizona Capitol, but I've seen RFK. He kicks it out here in Arizona. You run into him all the time out here, and he's like really good looking, very muscular, strong dude. But when he talks, it's sort of like the Ron Paul, like he's gonna float away if the wind hits him. Like when he talks, it sounds like it's his last words. He's like, I don't know. Maybe that's not funny.
I think
Uh,
it would be better to run into RFK than to have, say, like Ted Kennedy run into you.
I guess Ian Carroll did a video on it like an hour ago, and I almost want to listen to it, but I don't want to steal his like roll off his page. Go to Ian Carroll's. I'll check it out afterward. Go and check out his
I was
video
looking it
at
up,
Cancel Ian
and it
Carroll.
sounds like the blackmail scandal was from October of last year. So that seems like kind of the trend, right? Like someone's just gonna bring it back up in 2025, or
Well,
is this a
doesn't
new extension of it?
Does it seem like Candace Owens is involved in bringing up everything it's almost like she took the best of, like if we all put out hits in conspiracy, she wrapped it together and melted it all down and is putting out a best of album of like conspiracy and like mixing in a couple of things, like becoming this new version of Alex Jones in a way. I don't know. I feel like Candace Owens is such an
There's a
interesting
vacuum.
character
Like
to me.
the world's looking for its next out. I don't think it's gonna be from Candace Owens or anyone that eventually started at the Daily Wire, but there is that vacuum exists now.
The thing I don't like about these like social media like influencers is if you listen to their intro music, like Candace Owens' intro music, it's like, oh, yada. It's like, I'm just a lovely person. It's just like Theo Vaughn's music intro. It's just like this wholesome, like, oh, I'm wholesome. It's sort of like me playing like gangster music because I want to come off like I'm like a tough, cool gangsta, right?
You are a tough, cool gangster.
But I'm not, though. I'm like the opposite of that. So I'm like,
I saw you murder a man.
that
Different.
that was anyway.
Right.
But all these people that put this music, like they're like good people, like they play this happy music, and it's just like compensating for, I think, some of the evil shit,
Like some darkness.
Yeah, because that's what I think it is.
I'm thinking of like the Ellen intro.
I just
Yeah.
noticed this though with people. Like you get metal heads or people who listen to like aggressive music, and they're usually like super nice, right? But then you get like these really aggressive, power hungry people, and then you listen. What are they listening to? They're like listening to like
Taylor Swift.
relaxing, like like
Enya.
peaceful, relaxing.
No,
Enya.
don't put that on Enya.
Not Enya, but I'm telling you, there's something there.
That's our
I can
cult.
see Hannibal
The
Lecter
cult of
like
Enya.
playing people's faces off, and Enya's going on in the background though.
We got.
there was
We
that-
didn't get pulled off for playing Pure Mood, so if we ever need to play it, Enya.
I saw Riggs said that we got an 18 and up stamp on our last one for the boobies.
Oh, I
Mhm.
apologize about that again. Because remember how we were gonna show
the-
somebody's boobs for something, and then it
what
was
one of the guys or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were showing a scene from just one of the guys, and instead we went to play the movie, and it was just porn. It was just tits without nipples. I don't remember. I tried to get off of it so fast, but I forgot. I apologize again that I tainted your guys' Virgin Mary eyeballs with that demon
'Cause-
semen.
Speaking of semen, I'm gonna bring this up. I went and got.
Well, you started
my-
off the show literally talking about bleach buttholes.
Yeah, may as
I
well.
mean, we're here.
So I went and got microneedling done yesterday, which is like they like poke your skin like with it's a skin pin. You know, it's like a little machine, but it's tons of like little pricks, but it like boosts the collagen in your skin. And they told me they're gonna use this serum and everything, and a lot of times you do it with like PRP therapy. So like that's where the term vampire facial comes from, because they'll draw some of your blood and they'll pull your plasma, and then they'll use your plasma with the microneedling. Well, the lady was like, well, let's just try this new serum. She told me the name. It was like 4 letters. It was like reminding me of Voss water or something like that. Anyway, but she said, you know, we'll use this serum and everything. And she's like, and I like it better than PRP because PRP depends on how good your platelets are, you know, and not everybody has good platelets. So she's like, so let's just use the serum. I was like, okay. So then like we're doing it. She's like, you know, this is salmon sperm. I was like, what? So I got a facial with salmon sperm yesterday. And I was like, oh, but that's like that Kim Kardashian shit. Cause she was all about that a while back.
So
That's
salmon
fish fucking.
sperm,
Yeah.
it meets the egg, which the eggs would be caviar.
Well, only if it's Sturgis, technically. If you want to get stickler about it, I believe that caviar only comes from Sturgis and everything else is just roe.
I had some real caviar in Japan. I had sea urchin.
Oh, I bet you had some, crazy
I had
good
some
seafood.
wild food. I went into this one place. There's only one because you're supposed to eat everything on the plate. That's what I heard, at least in America. That could be total myth, but I was like taking it seriously. And anytime I got something, even though it looked weird, I ate it. I didn't know what I was eating. And then I went into one place, and I walk up in there, and no one's in there, and it's hella weird. And I go sit down, and I order some food, and they bring out this food. It's just awful, and it looks gross. I didn't eat it. I left. I paid for it, but I left.
There's no people that says a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of my philosophy on all restaurants. If like that parking lot's empty, I'm not gonna eat there.
Yeah, no people. It's not a hidden secret. Like there's no yokels. I want the
Yeah.
locals to be there. I don't need to
Yep.
see like that's what but if no one's there, I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you serving me right now?
They're just
Yeah.
trafficking or it's a
It's
front.
Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares is all I see.
This lady that came out to serve, she couldn't. I'm in Japan. They don't speak English. You know, they speak Japanese, and I'm like, lady, I want something good, whatever, you know. And I'm picking what I want, and she looked freaked out. And I swear, I think that they were like, probably she looked traumatized, like in the kitchen. And like
he just ordered she had to go and kill like some horrible thing in the back. Like no one orders that. What monster would order this?
but it was the weirdest place ever. And like when I walked up in there, it looked okay. The guy was like, yo, this is a good food. No one's in this place, and I'm in the middle of Japan, and the lady, she disappears. It takes forever. She comes out with the food. She's terrified. She looks like she's just terrified. And then I'm like, look, I gotta go. I paid, and they rang up the bill, and they were like, it's $100 pretty much. It was like $80, and I was like, what the heck? And then this like really old lady comes out of the back. Like it was like they're making her cook the food. It was the weirdest thing. I got out of there, and then when I paid for it. This was the weirdest part. When I was paying, it was like they're like, okay, you pay up here. And the guy was wearing like, it wasn't the same guy that sat me. It was like some dude dressed like a doctor. It was just the weirdest thing I've ever.
What the heck?
Yeah, it was weird.
Like you ate that guy's kidney, or you had somehow they
Something
like
like
removed that guy's
yeah.
organs, and he watched them cook it, and they were gonna make him like watch you eat his own organs, and then you were just like, I don't even want it.
Yeah, and then right before it, I went to the ninja museum to learn about the samurai and the ninja, and I thought I was having a good time, but then I got a panic attack in the middle, and then I got all these samurais. This was really scary because I have this idea of a samurai and ninja being like super tall, right? But they're Japanese, and they're like old Japanese. So they're all like 3 foot tall looking samurais everywhere. So I'm like looking down. I thought I was going to be looking at samurais like this. I'm looking down at the samurais, and I just started having this panic attack in there.
Of like these tiny little warriors.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Little pygmy samurais.
Yeah, well, look, you see, like those look tall, but they're not.
Well, look how
that
little
lady's
she is.
like 4 foot.
Yeah, like that picture makes them look massive, but when you're like a 6'3", They're not massive, but
Trying to
it's
find a
scary.
picture. It's not people.
Maybe that's why
clothing.
that lady was so terrified in the restaurant, Donut.
That's where I
She was
was.
like,
That was the Ninja
giant.
Museum. That's the Ninja Museum I was at.
Oh shit.
And then I started filming them, and they yelled at me that I couldn't film. So
That's Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum, isn't it?
the Three Ninjas.
Yeah, red, yellow, blue. Isn't that how it went?
Hell yeah, dog.
Well, I also feel like staring at this stuff, and it looks like, I don't know, like the armor that they're wearing, and when you actually start putting yourself in whatever it was they were up to, I could have a panic attack.
Look
Well,
at those
Sometime
demonic
around
heels.
certain like items of things, like there's energy in that, and
Yeah, that's what it seems totally.
yeah, think of all the energy in that for real.
And they're like the caste system at the top is like the emperor, but the emperor doesn't exist. It's a mythological creature that rules everybody, right? And then it goes underneath the shogun and all that, but at the top is like this mythical creature ruling everybody, and the samurai keeps its sword on the right hand side. So when you go to Japan, like, you know how we walk on like the left side on the sidewalk or the right side on the sidewalk, they do it opposite. And they do it because if you bump your samurai sword into another samurai, it was the duel. Like even if it was a mistake, you guys got to fight to the death to it. So even the bow, when they do the bow, you put your right hand underneath your left hand into the bow and all that. Because of the sword. So it's the same thing like with a handshake. So we show I'm not armed with the gun. So they do the bow to show that you're not like strapped with the samurai sword.
I wonder if that's like if your samurai swords touch tips, then you're gay unless you kill the other samurai.
Well, this is another weird thing is like,
Or unless you say no homo.
Yeah.
no, well, when you go into like the like the gym or the sauna in Japan, like in America it's different. We're all kind of shy unless you're old. But in Japan, everyone's just naked, just like okay with it. And they're just sitting there like it's nothing. Like in America, we're very like, oh, but there, everybody's just balls out.
This
Like,
is exactly what I was thinking in my brain. Like, I'm so glad somebody wrote it because
Spaceballs again.
yeah. Yeah, but it's like it seems like in Japan, I mean, I don't want to judge, but I would just guess like walking over there as an average American lad, whatever your ethnicity, I would just guess that you'd be like, I'll hang out in this bathhouse. King Kong over here. Oh, Godzilla.
they're very
Godzilla in the
sophisticated.
bathhouse.
But
But
they're
that's just
very,
me.
very
feel like-
sophisticated.
Because
there.
I picture that I would be like just really well hung.
Did
and
you
walking
have
through
to
the
duck
Japanese
everywhere you went?
Do what?
Did you have
you
to
have to
duck
duck
everywhere you
everywhere?
went? Like
Duck? Like,
under like doorways and like
I
getting
did
in?
not. No,
Okay.
I didn't have to duck at all. The thing is like when you walk into like they don't have like Chick-fil-A or a Chipotle,
I'm
but
out.
yeah. But let's say they had a Japanese Chipotle. When you walk in Chipotle, you know how you could just sit anywhere. Well, if we walked into Chipotle, we couldn't sit anywhere. We would be crammed in like sardines, and they would pick like you'd be in the corner, and then that's how everything is like efficient and in like a system, which will just like America mine, we're chaotic sort of. There, it's all like efficiency. It's crazy. It's definitely it's worth checking out at least once.
I
You
feel
got
like
little
I'd be
kids
so
walking.
claustrophobic there.
I'm a very claustrophobic person, but I didn't feel claustrophobic there. But I am like taller than everybody there, so I had a lot of breathing.
Breathing room. Yeah. That would, but I didn't know if it would be worse or better being tall, but
You can like see the traffic jams. It's like being in like a nice truck instead of like a low rider.
Every car is top of the line because everyone uses the train system underneath. So all the cars on the top are all clean and shiny and new, and
But are they all like super compact?
they're not.
Tiny?
They're huge. I
Oh,
got into
really?
a taxi. Like I'm in this taxi, and like I can't even reach my hands up. Like it's that high up. It's crazy. Everything's so spacious in the cars.
Whoa.
They're crushing it over there.
I'm
with that.
surprised. I thought they were all like the little tiny cars that
Because
people
you can
buy
also
here.
like rent a cubicle that's like the size of a morgue like drawer, right? Like, can't you just rent a
Yeah,
hotel room
I
that's
saw
like
that.
5x5 or
I
something?
didn't
That's
see
why I
any.
felt claustrophobic. I think because
Yeah.
I saw that, Chaney.
That would freak me out too. But I didn't see any of that. Like, but also, like Japan is a lot different than like going to Vietnam or other places in the Asias. It's all Japanese there. Unlike Singapore, where you got like a bunch of different people out there. So it's a weird being in like a country. It's a country, right? Japan. I'm not that
Yeah.
smart.
As
But
long
it's
as we say it is, yeah.
it was wild.
Yeah, they have like
Yeah,
these
see that?
things.
I didn't see any of that. That would freak me out. I'm having a panic attack right now. Just
Like, think about
I
that.
know.
like a kennel where you put a dog in.
It looks
my
like a
God.
microwave.
Yeah, it really freaks me out. $26, a sleeping
You
capsule.
couldn't pay me $26.
Look at
Although I could crash in one of those. I mean, if I fit, I could totally crash in one of those, no problem.
to me, it just looks like it fills up with water.
It looks like a pillow fort.
It looks like I can't breathe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared just looking at that.
It
I
makes
don't
me
even do
laugh.
elevators. Like if there's, I'd rather take a stairs in any freaking. I don't care if it's the 14th floor.
Well, you know how they pack I was saying how they pack everyone like sardines out there, like efficiently. Well,
Yeah.
in the elevator, you have an elevator button guy, and the guy so aggressively puts his face on the thing like this, like his nose is touching the elevator doors, so everyone will have room. It just people take pride in all their jobs or whatever. It's just the opposite
Yeah.
of how Americans think. Like they're like very community, and that's why it's so safe there. Except for there was a YouTuber that she got stabbed.
Dude, we in the Occult Disney podcast, we broke away for like a month and we did a few anime movies instead. And I'm like fairly new to anime still. And there was this weird freaking theme that kept popping up where a guy would be in a restaurant or on a subway or somewhere. It would just be like some random business guy that had a razor blade, like for like cutting open packages. Like you slide it up a little bit, and they would just cut girls' dresses, but they would do it in a way that like the girl didn't notice. And then they would realize after the fact, like, oh, that we got another one of those guys that just cuts our clothing open with these razors. And I remember it was like, is that a thing enough in culture? And sure enough, my friend Matt that I do that show with, he lives in Japan. He starts looking up all these articles. Like there are waves of just guys that just cut women's clothing with razor blades in these cramped sardine-like spaces, because you're already like, it's almost like pickpocket central. But I guess in Japan there's too much respect to pickpocket you, but they will cut your clothing with a razor for some reason. I still don't understand that specific fetish.
That is
Or
wild.
just being able to see, because they had a few generations of them that they killed. Oh wait, that's China. You were talking about Japan. I just got all racist. I was like, didn't they kill their daughters? Oh wait, that was China. Never mind. Sorry, Japan.
Yeah,
They're all
Japan was
safe.
cool. I like Japan. The people were cool. I don't think I could ever live there though. I'm just like, I would have like a mental breakdown, because like at least in America, like you out there, you're not gonna have anybody screaming out in the middle of the street, which we do here all the time. But sometimes I feel like I want that freedom that I could go out into the middle of the street and scream at the moon, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I was
Even if
thinking
I
of
don't
it. Like, I don't know why I have it in my head that Japan just seems pervy.
It seems
Like, it
like
just seems extra pervy. I was trying to think of a reason why it would seem so pervy to me,
they're
so I was
not
about to just be
pervy.
racist and put it on China's lack of girls because they killed their daughters, but then I was like, "That's
They're
racist,
they're
never
they're
mind."
not pervy at all because they're very sophisticated with sexuality out there more so than like America. They have like the burlesque shows and all that. Like it's not.
Don't they also have like panty vending machines though?
I didn't see any panty vending
Oh,
machines.
you didn't go to the
but
did you go to the red district? Because
they
that's
have
where-
that's what I was going to say, that they have a red light district there. I did not go. No.
or so he says on a public stream.
No, I would say if I did. I did not. No.
When I was like in
You
second
can't
grade,
find love
I had
there.
a Japanese foreign exchange student come and live with us, and actually like a whole class of them came to our town at once. So there was a whole bunch of Japanese students, and it was pretty cool because we got to learn a lot about the culture. But none of the girls could wear makeup or paint their nails or anything like that. They were adamant about it because, and it was like the 80s, so that's when like high school girls all around them were wearing like blue eyeshadow and shit, and but they said no, if I wear this back home they would call me a whore.
There's a
Very
lot of
conservative.
shame there too. So like if you're an American like woman or man, it's hard to date out there because like you'd get shamed because like that we're like outsiders. And just being a little different there, like you get shamed as well. So not every there it's hard to find a lot of individual.
Sophisticated? They
Yeah.
like to puke in each other's mouths.
I mean, it's a
It's just like-
sophisticated form
It's
of
the
it
spectrum.
because
Well,
they-
that's probably just like one like video,
Facet.
yeah. Like,
That's
but
just
I'm talking about as
that
a whole.
algorithm.
But I could be
more than just
wrong. I
a
could be
whore.
wrong. I'm open to being wrong on this one.
just don't Google a video called "An Evening with the Japanese." Just don't do that.
Are you serious? Is there?
Oh yeah, it's
Really?
it's basically that, but it's very sophisticated because they're sitting down at like a nice 5-star restaurant table. There's like a waiter, like a maitre d' and everything. Except the whole time they're just eating horrific food and then vomiting up into like crystalware and then like passing it to the next person and then like it's crazy. It's like a whole thing.
Wow.
Don't-
Wow.
yeah, just
It
don't
still
Google
sounds not as gross as like 2 girls 1 cup, and I mean, could you
Well,
imagine all
isn't that
Japanese
South
like they're going,
America?
oh, Americans are disgusting, they
That was, but I
drink
thought
each
that
other's
was
shit.
South American.
Oh, I thought it was United States. I don't know.
But I was,
No, but we're Mr. Hands.
They were so confident in that video, weren't they?
Is that seems like
That couldn't
Kentucky?
have
I never
been- that
seen it,
wasn't-
but don't look that up either. If
That
that's
wasn't their
just
first
the idea
rodeo.
when people, I'm like, say no more, Joe Rogan. You've horrified me. Like, please. Like some of the, not you guys, just some of the porn descriptions when people, like when 2 girls 1 cup went around, I never needed to see it. I never need to see it. The verbal description that everyone gave that I've heard on every, I'm just like, it's enough. There's
Yeah,
some things like
same.
I never
I
need
can't
the
do that either.
images.
I don't even understand how it's sexual. Like I understand that it is for some people, but I guess like those 2 different paths like never really crossed in my brain that like, oh, someone's getting off on this. If anything, it's like a medical video. It's like watching someone have their eye dissected.
That's wow.
I don't know. We're all getting weird images in our heads all the time though. And I feel like one picture in your algorithm, like we're all like, look what's on my algorithm, look what's on mine. Who knows what they're conjuring up with it.
Oh god, like if like for some people, if you say the word goatsy, they get like a very horrific image in their mind. Don't Google that either,
I
please.
just get the guy dancing and saying that I'm worth it, and I can buy the Apple iPhone, and everything's gonna be better, or headphones with no
Yeah, that's-
sound.
Just a little headphones. I'm always surprised because it's always so long that I don't see commercials. And then when I see them, I'm like, what in the hell? Like, what's going on here?
Whenever I
YouTube-
go and visit family and I forget that like they're still on I buy the cable package from the cable company or like watching it over the airwaves and just seeing I mean, I guess what surprised you most is that every single commercial is basically a pharmaceutical.
But they
uh, which,
are. I
which,
know.
which is probably why that video that Donut keeps describing. I
Yeah.
think maybe everyone is so conditioned to seeing pharmaceutical commercials that now even if they want to sell you a car or an iPhone, they have to make it look like a pharmaceutical commercial.
It's just like a pharmaceutical commercial for the Apple iPhones.
But
I
it just feels culty. It feels like they're kind of like pushing this mild cult idea. Like something about the color scheme of it seems like it's like borderline hospitally or
Well, and then
something.
it's intimate too because I'm on my phone and his face is taking up my whole phone, like we're FaceTiming each other.
And he's
And he's,
dancing gay.
and
Like,
he's looking right at me into my soul
again.
through my eyes. And he's telling me how I'm worth it. And like his face looks like they gave him a massage like right before it because he's so relaxed, but he's also like it's freaking weird.
That's
And then
some
they're
really good NLP too, because by saying you're worth it and making you feel like maybe I am worth it, but really he's really saying that you're worth it to spend the absorbent amount of money on this product. Like you're worth it. Go ahead and splurge a little bit. Like that's the real premise, even though it's being packaged up as almost like a positive affirmation. Really, it's just a sales technique.
And it's like directed by Spike Jones.
And they're like putting all these videos, like I'm trying to find it again, but instead it's like him rehearsing for the video.
You know, there's like a behind the scenes documentary on the
Yeah.
video.
But I'm telling you, like I've been walking around like, man, I want to get some new headphones. Like it's like it's weird. It's
It
like,
works.
yeah. And I'm not
The
going to
subliminal's
feel that
working.
desire fulfilled until I purchase the headphones, and then I have.
I think we know what the next Illuminati comic commercial needs to be. It's gonna have to be a flash dance, and you're gonna be like, "You're worth it." Like, you have to do like a version of this.
Yes.
You're
I
worth
mean, you guys, everything I'm looking up, like if I don't put in the actual commercial, it's so many videos and his hands doing this shit. Like it's some online trend
they're
of
like
him doing
The
this
Vogue?
shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Vogue trend?
Strike a pose.
I could send you the video.
I
got
have it. I'm just like enchanted in it.
And it just came out. Like it looks like this like week. It's
Yeah.
just active noise cancellation. And that's it.
White.
I don't know, but there's so many videos, you guys, of like they are really pushing, like, because he's probably world's sexiest man. Like, if we look on top of who they're just pushing everywhere, he's probably like on the front of People, on the front of.
Well, what movies has he been in?
He's the guy from The Last of Us or something. Was his
Yeah, he
big
was-
recent thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was. Okay.
You're
He's like,
perfect.
you're worth it. You're perfect. You're worth it.
Here.
It's like they practice. This is like super practiced.
I'm
It's
gonna
not-
do it so you can hear it, Donut, so you can be totally brainwashed. We're already in trouble here. Start.
Now work it. You're oh no, not you're worth it. You're perfect. But it's
You're
still kind of you're
perfect.
perfect. Now work it. But now work it sounds like you're worth it. Now work it. No, so he doesn't even say you're worth it. I thought he did. But that's
Maybe
what I
it
heard.
cures
He did
you.
say- I thought he said it first. You're worth it. Now work it.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That's what that's what I thought he said.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't trust this motherfucker.
For this guy goes all the way back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV. I didn't even know that he went back that far.
I knew I'd seen
Let's
him in
do a
other
deep
things.
dive. Let's do a deep dive.
There's something
Pedro
up with that.
Pascal.
Yeah, but Buffy, Touched by an Angel, NYPD Blue, Law and Order, Nurse Jackie. Like he's one of those faces that you probably have seen a million times.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna open up your wiki and do how we do, and do the quick go through of him and see what kind of weird. This is never the part. 2 decades. Blah blah blah. This
Looks
is
like
never.
Game of Thrones might have been like one of the big ones.
I was gonna say
Santiago
I remember
Chile.
him as a doctor and something for sure.
He was born to a child psychologist. That already is like whatever. And sometimes when their names aren't clickable, oh, I did not want that to happen. But sometimes when their names aren't clickable on here anymore, me and Thomas were talking about this, how they like delete them. It doesn't mean you still can't like highlight the name and look them up somewhere else. There it is. Like
Yeah.
his mom is probably what the you guys, like, I'm handicapped, but his mom's probably like, if we look her up, she's probably all involved with all sort. Oh, look, and fertility doctor Jose Balmaceda, whatever. He's probably friends with like Epstein. Look at him just putting all this stuff on him.
There's a trans activist, younger sister. But at the bottom, I didn't read much about it, but this like militant left socialist thing that he was like born into or
Pascal's
something.
mother was the cousin of Andre Pascal Aldin, is a Chilean Marxist, descendant of nephew and former president.
It's pretty up there.
Socialist government. Country became a military dictatorship. Received political asylum to Denmark. Isn't Denmark in the news right now? Because
Denmark is like where
look at
all
their
the
flag, you guys. We were just talking about the Knights of Malta.
yeah. Well, the Denmark is weird because all of these like accounts that I'd be looking at that are like pushing like the anti-S stuff, they all coming from like Denmark. It's weird.
Well, I also keep feeling like that Denmark's coming up in the news with Greenland for some reason.
I wanted to bring up Greenland because I
Yeah,
found it really
we're gonna
weird
pull
that
it up.
Melania and Barron and a couple of the other Trumps
JD
went there,
Vance.
and then JD Vance's wife, and then JD Vance. It was like all staggered. It was kind of weird.
Oh, here it is.
And then the king of Denmark or something like that changed his coat of arms just to be like "F you, Trump."
Vance scolds Denmark during Greenland trip as Trump says U.S. must have island. And then they're saying something right now that's coming out like in perspective for everyone. And it's like, do Americans want to give every citizen of Iceland $1 million? Because that would be like the equivalent of what it would cost America to buy Greenland. Not Iceland, sorry, Greenland. They would give every man, woman, and child of Greenland $1 million. And then they're like, well, just so you know, that's how much we've sent to Ukraine times 3.
Damn.
And it's like, in perspective, people are like, what? Because they're like, no, I don't want to send anyone $1 million apiece. Well, just so you know, for perspective, we've sent that to Ukraine times 3. Like,
I
it's
feel
just,
like that whole Greenland thing is probably like some like power play that we don't understand, but it goes into like some royal power play, like something that's not going to be in the news kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think
Not
almost
for
like
us.
tunnels, like in the same way I think Israel Palestine's not really about that. I think everything that they tell us, like Antarctica, is not because they're like, we're studying penguins. I
Right.
just think everything they tell us is a fake thing. And so this Greenland dance, it's like whatever the cabal that's fighting above our head right now that we don't understand. It's like, maybe I'll just buy Greenland. Oh, you're not, because Greenland's mine. Like, it's like this risk game that we don't really understand, that when you really think about it, if we're replacing militaries all over the world, we want a military in Hawaii. We want a military at the edge of Alaska. We want a military in Cuba. We want a military. And so you start thinking of this military industrial complex that's kind of creeped in all over the world, which is really us, but by proxy, like the Queen's military. We're just like doing whatever the royals kind of want, whatever the American think about it. Like, it just seems like every war we do is kind of somehow by proxy for the royals. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's something way deeper with it. Also, I don't know if you heard about Malay. He opened this investigation on like the rat lines, and I think it's connected to the Templar treasures as well and the money. And it's like all connected to these banks and stuff like that, like Credit Suisse connection to all of that. And all that money, I think, went to Taiwan and Spain. That's what Dr. Joseph P. Farrell was talking about. I don't know anything about it, but it's interesting.
It is kind of curious that even in the Barron Trump of it all, Greenland gets brought up a bunch in that book. Oh, look
Yeah,
at
so who's going to be the next president? Would it be Ivanka? Did you see her doing her jujitsu? Or would it be Barron? Because it's not going to be Donald Trump Jr.
I think Barron's got the best shot.
what about
More than
JD Vance?
Ivanka?
But you have to be
Well,
35, so Barron's not eligible yet.
Well, I mean, eventually though, like
Yeah.
I think that out of all the
Oh,
different,
the next in the
Trump-
Trump line.
yeah,
You don't think Ivanka has a chance?
I don't think that she can get the same crowd that her dad did because she kind of stands opposed to some of the things. Like she would come out and kind of say, "I'm not with my dad on these things," and they were they were like Trumper issues.
Yeah, but what about that swing from the right to the left paradigm switch? How everything kind of swings radically to other directions.
I mean,
What
I guess Trump did that, right? Trump went from being a New York Clintonian Democrat into being whatever
Right.
this new right-wing Trump is. So it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility that he swings right back to where he started from.
Well, look at everybody kind of in the cabinet that is surrounding him. Like Tulsi, we saw with Bernie originally at her.
Really? Was Tulsi
Yeah,
and Bernie
she
were
was
a
that
thing?
far left. And so then you look at RFK, and RFK was also a Democrat. And then you look at like, the libertarians.
This is alt right. This is alt left.
Yeah, so it's like funny that like the Republican Party had no other option but to go along with Trump after like the Republican Party kind of died in
They were
2016.
terrified of what names they were going to get bullied with, and they were just like, just do it, just have it.
Yeah, so it's like
I don't want a nickname.
if you kind of look at the whole cabinet, they were all just it's like the uniparty is kind of there. Like wherever it's almost like the uniparty on both sides. It's like,
Oh,
just-
there's a solar eclipse at 3 a.m. My time, 6 a.m. your time.
Oh, the sun will be coming up. Solar eclipse. Let's see. It might come up at like 7:32. Weird. When I put in solar eclipse in the Google,
Yeah,
it did a
does that.
weird eclipse across my screen.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Look, and I'm blown away like I'm an 80-year-old grandma.
I feel like an 80-year-old grandma all the time.
It's called a double sunrise eclipse.
Devil?
Double
Double?
sunrise. Yeah.
Like a double rainbow.
Double rainbow. I'll show you.
Reading rainbow.
Solar eclipse Saturday morning. Partial solar eclipse offers a rare chance to see a double sunrise in the northeastern part of the country. It's the only solar eclipse visible from the U.S. this year that comes 2 weeks after the total lunar eclipse. 814 million people around the globe, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It seems like something. It's all building up to their Easter celebration on 420, which they like that date for Easter to fall on a 420 this year.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. That was going to be Elon's Easter.
I'm so happy. I just learned that yesterday because for whatever reason, I thought it was the 13th, which is like the day after my show. And I'm literally planning on buying, like, seeing your name and everybody talking about you and like doing the donut emoji is driving me crazy because I'm going to buy a dozen maple donuts and I'm going to eat every single one of them. But I was thinking it was going to be Easter. So I was like, donut shops are not going to be open. This is horrible. But it's not Easter.
Do you remember
perfect.
Cinnabon, like at the mall?
I'm getting Cinnabons the night of my show. I have to. I'm getting 2 big ones. I'm
I'm not a huge fan.
Out
love
of
it.
nowhere, I was just like, I need some
Love it.
Cinnabons like a couple nights ago.
Maybe
I was Googling like locations in Tulsa like all day today. I was like, that and donut
any
shop.
day, Annie Ann's beats Cinnabon 10 times out of 10.
I think so too.
Every time.
Not a Cinnabon fan. But I get like your body is so
iPhone in the food
neat
court.
want the sugar. Like it's funny. Probably the closer you get to show and the
more
further you've gone
neat.
without it, the more condensed version of that. And if you actually think what the icing is on those things, it is really just pure sugar.
Yeah, just pure
It's like,
sugar and
like give me the ooey gooey of the sugar. Just give me the bread as a
absolutely.
device to get the ooey gooey.
I want butter on top of it too.
Do you
Though.
think you
Love
could
me
have
that
like
butter.
a somehow like an anti whatever, like we reopen one of these and we call it demon semen? Catchy or no?
Cinesemen.
Well, that would just be
I
one
mean,
flavor.
yeah, you might have a little niche group, you know.
I mean, voodoo donuts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they got creepy symbolism for days. I recall those guys, like John. They were like partying with the DA, the governor, Kate Brown, and John Legend. Like all the
John
creepy
Legend
people of
is so sus.
the amount I've looked into Oregon and Portland politics and Oregon politics back when it's in my dusty mental manila folder that I'm just like, all these people should be reinvestigated. But anyways,
That
do you
was
guys
a
have
weird
anything going
time.
on this week you want to plug?
I don't have anything going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, a donut's gonna be getting a whole bunch of his trading cards to sign so that we
That's
can
true.
stuff into the. And I just was packing these ones really quick, but I got a huge box that's about as tall as I am in this room that's filled with these little packets here. So this is what's going to be showing up in a bunch of people's mailboxes.
Wow.
And
Looks
these
like
are just
a
this
awesome.
is just the
looks like a
first
condom
wave.
wrapper a little bit, like a massive condom wrap.
It's awesome. You have great packaging because it's cool that everybody that gets to handle it.
Wow. That's pretty big. Look at that. I love that.
This is one of my favorite
Oh,
things.
I
This was
love that
like
it's. I like that it's not a hangy calendar and something you can carry with you.
and it's also a what you would call a perpetual calendar. So if you notice, you can fill out the year, but then also at the very top, it doesn't say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can fill that out yourself. So this calendar will work for any year.
Get
So
it
even if you don't want to fill
whenever.
it out right now, you can use it.
That's
Oh.
dope.
I'm so ordering one of those.
Yeah.
Mythocast asks, does the yacht club have its own package?
Yeah, the yacht club's gonna have its own package too, but the yacht club's gonna come in a box. Basically, what I sent you, Donut, that you'll be getting on Monday. Maybe you could do like a box opening thing.
So if just for all the people right now that aren't in the know and they are like, what the are they talking about right now? Tell them what they missed out on and what they're, I don't know if there'll be any extra for anyone or what's going on, but tell them what this actually was to begin with. So they know what this yacht package, they know what you and Donut were up to if they missed the last few months. Like,
Oh, the yacht club package is the ultimate package. You got this VHS box, and it's the 4th edition, which are limited edition. So there are only a couple hundred ever get made. And the yacht club package is the VHS box, which is packed with a bunch of dope
it'll
art.
be
dope
kind of like
stuff.
this, but not this
Just-
one.
Yeah, so there was only 200 of those ever made. And so that was the 3rd edition. So the 4th edition, the Illuminati Secrets Yacht Club package, comes with that, but it also comes with all the top tier Illuminati Yacht Club members. I mean, you have pretty much entered the elite circles with this package. The package has got everything that you would need to hop on the yacht with the Illuminati, and you'll fit right in.
And
Oh,
if you
yeah.
guys don't know, if you're new and haven't ever gotten Donut merch or Paranoid American merch, they're both great merch. And so the
Right.
fact that they're collabing on this, you're going to get something special that even whatever they tell you you're going to get more than that, whatever package you get.
Oh yeah, everyone's getting hooked. I was trying to see if I could find. I sent all of my loose items to Donuts, so I got to pull out some more samples. But like everyone in the yacht club's getting a huge ass beach towel that has this
nice.
like Where's Waldo
Mhm.
style print on it, but it's going to be on like this huge beach towel.
That's awesome.
And then they're getting these little metallic coins we got. They're not going to show up great in my lighting right now, but
But
this
they're
one's
real
got, like,
coins.
they're real. Yeah, it's like a real like solid metal coin that's got some heft to it. But yeah, I mean, again, like one of the reasons I sent Donut a whole package, he'll probably do a much better job at like showing off all the cool stuff that's in these things.
Good promo video.
Making a little promo you guys will eventually get to see. But anyways,
Or a
they always
haul.
have cool stuff going on. And it's for you guys made an actual thing that you're giving it. This wasn't just a for no reason and just some merch. You actually made something too, right? Like a booklet.
Yeah,
Mhm,
the Illuminati comic.
I know. I'm just telling everyone that might be showing up that has no idea who these yacht club members are.
They're the ones that got in on the ground floor. And what the yacht club was, it was like the ultimate love letter to people that wanted to go above and beyond and support this crazy idea of making an Illuminati chick track pamphlet, which had never existed before. And then, like, as a reward for rewarding us and for helping make it all possible, they're just going to get hooked up with the coolest box of conspiracy anything that's ever existed, truly.
And it really is, you guys. It was like they did a whole bunch of research, but to be able to put it together and make it look cool, it was like crowdsourced. And so a whole bunch of people threw in, and it is the full cover, what the Bavarian Illuminati, but right, like everything from like, what did you say from the beginning to Diddy? Like
yeah,
everything
you
in
get the
between.
whole like the comic book, the chit track. It's the entire history pretty much packaged in an artistic comic book of the Bavarian Illuminati from its conception in the 1700s all the way to today with like Diddy or Lady Gaga or whatever it is. So we're going from Beethoven to Jay-Z, all in this. It's quite impressive and amazing, but also symbolic throughout the whole comic book. It's jam-packed with official symbolism of different codes and all that, that it's like you read it, you're like, oh, dope, I just learned something. But if you become symbol literate, you read it again and you see a whole story as well with that. It's really impressive.
You'll see more of it very soon. The plan is to get all the copies out to everyone that ordered it, and then we'll make the rest of the copies available, and we'll have a whole new promo all over again for it. But I want to just make sure that everyone that ordered it gets like their exclusive copy. They're the first kids that get the cool new toy, and then everyone else has got an opportunity to snag it.
And everybody else will get to take part in it too, but keep teasing for the people that didn't hang out for all your 24-hour episode and all the ways that you guys really did do a great job at like, and showing people that you can do that kind of stuff too. Like sometimes, look at you guys made it all possible. And shout out to
We
Brent.
can do a Jerry's telethon, Jerry's Kids.
Yeah. Why can't we? But shout out to Brent for giving us 20 American dollars. And probably with the super sticker, another shout out to StreamYard. They probably show it instead of like Restream, where it's like baby Lemon jumping into our Lemon character's arms to hug him.
Wait, is that describing an emoji, or is that the message that he needed to send?
I don't know. I think it's describing a super sticker that probably shows on the bottom of the screen. I know. I don't know. But otherwise, if that's a message, he's probably like, what? Like, we're like, do we have to decode that?
We just passed on like a CIA Mockingbird message.
That's where I just feel like, am I programmed to kill the queen and not even know it? Anyways, do you guys have anything else going on this week?
Not me.
No? All right.
Show prep.
I am working on something else too. I will tell you guys about it. I just need to know more about it myself in detail first. But I am working on some behind the scenes stuff for a couple other shows that I think will be entertaining, and maybe other people that you love might come along and play in creating some of these things. But I'll keep you guys posted as it kind of all unfolds in all of the adventures of podcasting. That's what I feel like it is. It's just all of the big pharma money that runs. We need to do more dancing big pharma commercials so that
Yeah.
Dancing nurses, yeah.
yeah, for like oregano oil, but it's just like us dancing. We set it all up like big pharma commercials, but it's us just like pushing healthy herbs. Anyways,
Infowars, vitamins, like Alpha Brain or whatever.
yeah, mushroom, shroom tea. All right, you guys, we love you so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with us like you always do. And if you feel like hitting the like and subscribe or the thumbs up or any of the things wherever you're watching us on the way out, it does help the algorithm. So maybe we show up next to somebody else's giraffe chasing people in safari. Anyways, we love you guys so much, and check out Donut and Thomas and Abbie
Yeah.
everywhere, and shout out to Layla if you see her anywhere. Put a blue heart and tell her that you miss her. Okay, love you guys, talk to you soon, and make sure you turn it down because Juliette Lewis is loud. Okay, bye.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing who our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing who our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys.
You're still here? It's over.